And it's almost the same color as him, too.
Yeah, he just blends right in.
You comfy there, buddy? Yeah, so you're a big fan of the Wii U, right?
I don't know if I would say big, but I am a fan.
I mean, it's a controversial console.
Yeah.
Not the best, because you had the Wii, which was fantastic, one of the best consoles ever made, and then the Wii U was kind of like, tell me.
I think this
You're
year,
here to talk about Nintendo.
I think this year is officially the second worst console. Now officially behind the PlayStation 5, as a matter of fact.
The PlayStation 5 is the first worst console?
It's the worst console now, yeah.
Wow.
Crazy, I didn't know that.
It has less first-party games than the Wii U did.
So we were talking about this, Cameron and I were talking about this on the last episode, because we saw a PS5 at GameStop, a used one, for like over $600.
Yeah.
And we were saying you could just build a computer for half that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I have built, it's not a great computer, but my first computer I built, I spent maybe a third of that money.
And mind you, most PlayStation 5 games are playable on PC now, too.
Yeah.
So why bother?
What's the incentive for the console? Yeah.
Now, the real quick question here is, and I might have to fact check this, PlayStation 5 Pro. Have you seen anything about the PlayStation 5 Pro when it came out?
I don't care about anything. Any Microsoft console.
That's a broad statement. I don't care about anything.
That is a broad statement. Okay, I'll say I have not been tuned into the consoles for a very long time. As far PlayStation or Microsoft, tuned out. That's kind of what I meant by everything.
Yeah.
So.
All right,
I'm joined by my friends Pat and Sarah, by the way. For anyone who's wondering who
What's
these
up?
other two
Hello.
here, please introduce yourself.
Hi.
What's your Switch name? Your Twitch name?
I'm Sizzle Up Squid.
Okay.
With two P's.
So
Yeah.
folks can find you there.
Yes.
Okay. I want to say that first before we go any further, so don't forget to
Instagram, Twitter,
Yeah.
Twitch,
TikTok.
I think that's it. No
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook's been out of style for a while, I think.
You'd be
Right.
surprised. People apparently still use it.
In my life, it's been out of style for a long time.
it's out of style for me, too.
Yeah, my
It's
mom likes
nothing
it.
you want to see, honestly.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's the trickle down. It's the last stop for content on the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're on a bus.
No. It's like one step above North Korean internet.
Pretty much.
I
Essentially.
didn't know we were going international. Thought we were still just here in the States. But yeah, I need to open up my mind to more of this
I think you
world
can
we
get
live
on
in.
NorthKorea.net a year if you do some hacker stuff.
Yeah?
Pretty sure, yeah.
I don't want them to have my IP address. So I'm going to stay away from that. Anyhow.
You're not interested in North Korean Netflix? You don't want to?
As a matter of fact, I actually would be. You know,
I would.
Japanese Netflix has like all this anime that would be amazing for me to have just to stream for free. That's nice.
Just check it
Crunchyroll
out.
sucks.
Crunchyroll sucks.
Unless you pay for premium, Crunchyroll's terrible. I'm not paying for Crunchyroll, so
I don't even know what Crunchyroll is.
it's a Japanese streaming service for anime.
Okay, gotcha.
Anyhow,
Yeah, so what were you looking up again?
PlayStation 5 Pro price. The actual price point now.
Say that 3 times fast.
PlayStation 5 Pro price.
That's not fast enough. You gotta say it faster. PlayStation 5 Pro price. PlayStation 5 Pro price. PlayStation 5 Pro price.
Point. You left out the point. Pro price point. Pro price point. PlayStation 5 Pro price point. PlayStation 5 Pro price. No, damn it. Anyhow. Oh, I don't think there's any listings for it anymore because I guess they're all sold out. I'm fairly certain the PlayStation 5 Pro was $700.
Wow. Okay, so that would explain the used price that was so high.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
We're taking a short intermission. I'm not sure if anybody alerted you to the short intermission, but our host is currently serving coffee.
Normally, last time we had a mic on the coffee maker, but
Some ASMR.
I was we got some good recordings. I was a little rushed today.
Oh man, can they hear me
Did I think
chewing
so?
gum? Can you edit this out?
As long as you don't chew like a cow, I think it's fine.
Well, I just started chewing and I'm
Do
like,
you want cream or sugar?
No.
I drink my coffee black.
I'll take it black. Thank
kind
you.
of a crazy person. Oh, and I
I'm a
have,
crazy person.
most people don't. I get it. I have cookies here too.
I'd be most people.
Porthos went upstairs, so you can have cookies.
I like a little bit of cream in the milk just to lower that acidity.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of an animal and I drink too much of it. But
I understand that.
I want to, if I'm like, if I want to treat myself a little bit, I'll do creamer.
Yeah.
But like I used to do the creamer all the time. Like I can't even remember what the brand is. Should probably be speaking into the microphone. I used to do like the coffee creamer that would just make your ice cream taste like ice cream, or make your coffee taste like ice cream.
Yeah.
Like I think Bailey's has
Delights.
Yeah, something I can't even remember, but yeah, it's just too much to do all the time.
We do have 2 bottles of Bailey's. There's a s'mores one and a mint chocolate chip one. But actually, come to think of it, we haven't put it in coffee once.
I'm pretty sure you made me coffee and you put it in there.
I thought, I haven't put it in coffee. I put it in hot chocolate. Yeah.
I think I'm still trying to recover from being tongue twisted over PlayStation
5 Pro price point.
price point.
Yeah. That was tough. So
I'm not even going to try.
to touch back on this, PlayStation 5 Pro was on the market, I think. I'm going to need your Wi-Fi password, by the way. My loading speeds are terrible.
Sure. I don't know where my phone is, but
We'll get around to that.
I think I can remember it.
I think it was 700, and I could be wrong. It could be more.
No, that's not the right password. It's like Cove.
Just give it out.
But
You just do a drive-by. Everybody can connect.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
It could be more money than 700, but I think that's what it was. And
when did it come out? When did it release?
like last year or the year before. I think
Okay.
it was last year. And so I didn't look too deep into it. Shame on me. But from what I understand, there's not much difference between the original and the Pro. I think there might be better frame rate and resolution, but that's what PlayStation always boasts.
Sounds like a mediocre attempt at console
Yeah,
at a time where it's really not needed.
For one of the
Because-
industry leaders.
at a console with less first-party games than the Wii U.
Yeah.
Let's just
Not
point that out. So,
Let me go get the Wi-Fi password for you real quick.
sure.
So I'm just gonna pause real quick. I'll be right back.
All your fact checks.
I can't.
Yeah, I can't fact check without high internet.
I'm gonna move the mic in a little bit too.
What internet provider do you use?
They've got Verizon here now.
So with the wonderful fast speeds of Verizon, we will have fact checking instant.
Yes, this podcast with 13 subscribers is sponsored by.
Verizon Fios.
I'll wait for him to come back, but if he plays his cards right, he might have 15.
Look at the little plant. The boom.
That's real cute.
Boom. Yeah, dude. I saw the Sanrio posters. I was like, oh my god.
Dude, this is really cool too, though.
Yeah.
The
Is that a duck bubble gun?
All right, so
The
it's
SpongeBob frame.
Cove.
Well, 1 sec, please.
Yeah, let me know when you're ready.
All right, hit me.
That's Cove
With a capital C?
Lowercase COVE
Crazy. This family doesn't use capitals.
dash bun BUN 4, the
Dash.
number 4,
Bun, like
toasted buns in the
Okay.
oven. Dash by BUY.
that was bun 4 dash.
Bun 4 dash by. Yes,
Dash
the
by.
number 4. Yep,
That
should be good to go.
Bi as in bisexual.
BUY.
BUI.
Yes, yes. This is an asexual internet provider.
Shout out to Verizon. That password did not work.
Fuck. COVE
Correct.
dash BUN the
Yeah.
number 4
Yeah.
dash
Yeah.
BUY.
Why? I thought you said I.
No, not by. Not by.
No,
by.
B-U-I.
Oh. Yeah,
We're
B-U-I.
good.
That should be good then.
We're good.
Okay.
We're in.
We're in.
And like Flynn.
All right.
So yeah, Cameron's been on the last several episodes, and we've been talking mostly about Star Trek, a lot about gaming too, because that's kind of what we're into. But the podcast is mostly revolving around Star Trek because, at least right now, it is because Cameron's watching one of the shows called Voyager for the first time. So, and I've already seen it, so he's going through, and I'm like experiencing him, seeing things for the first time. But we got to talking about the console thing last time with less information because I didn't know. I didn't get the $700 figure. I didn't know that. And we started talking about the Switch too because was recently. Is it out now?
No.
Can you buy one?
Not yet.
Okay. But they put the teaser up. Teaser was like a month ago where they just, showed it, and then people on YouTube are getting their hands on it now. I've seen people posting videos.
So Nintendo did an hour direct focused completely on it and the lineup that will be following this entire year. So we have, I would say, at least 2 brand new first-party titles made by Nintendo and several third-party titles from their publishing partners.
Okay. I know Kirby's one of them.
So, okay, then
right?
we could, if we're going to count that as a Nintendo title, and the only reason why I am not specifically counting that as a Nintendo title is because HAL Laboratory is owned by Nintendo, right? So, and HAL Laboratory is the company that is making it.
Okay.
So anyhow,
yes, you're way more
but we
into
are.
this than I am.
Yeah,
I'm not. I haven't picked up my Switch in a long time. I'm very
I'm very deep.
I play like 2 video games. Too much.
He's super passionate about
I'm
Nintendo.
Alice in Wonderland in the
Nintendo.
rabbit hole. Okay.
This is the spot for it because Cameron and I kind of opened the can of worms last time, but and he knows more than I do, but we really didn't know the really inside baseball stuff, which I assume you do.
I got the know-how, at least what they've given us. Because not only did they give us an hour direct, they followed that up with the following 2 days with, I think it was a 45-minute treehouse, which they call a treehouse. It's basically people employed by Nintendo, and they are showing off and showcasing what the console's capable of, the games that got announced for it. Over the course of that 45 minutes the first day, they covered maybe 4 to 5 different titles, and then they covered another 2 to 3 titles again the next day, but they also went back around to the 2 main Nintendo titles that I was talking about, which are Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza.
We talked a little bit about Mario Kart yesterday at lunch.
Yes.
Where it's open world. Like
It looks
Forza.
amazing.
When you were telling it to me, I was thinking about Forza Horizon for the Xbox.
It's
because of the open world, you drive to each race.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's exactly like that.
So cool. Or Need for Speed did that first, I think.
Yeah. Underground,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the one where you could completely trick out your car.
Yep.
Yes.
You could do like crazy. You could do neon lights underneath and like crazy body kits and stuff.
Let's not
so
forget
sick.
the soundtrack that went with that game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Mario Kart World is really, really interesting. That's the new thing that they're doing for this title this time around is the free roam. You can change outfits in the game now too, so you can be Mario in like a biker outfit, and you can be Toad with a cheeseburger head.
It's funny.
There's like a fancy Boo. He has a monocle and a top hat.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, elegant Boo.
It seems like they're giving everyone what they've been waiting for.
Yeah, I mean, it's been just as long since Grand Theft Auto 5 that we're waiting on Grand Theft Auto 6. It's the same boat. They came out the same year. Mario Kart 8, the original Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U, and Grand Theft Auto 5 came out same year, and that was 12 or 13 years ago now. Mm-hmm. And they got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe they put out on the Switch, and they rode that out for 5 years, and then when we hit 23? they announced the
DLCs.
Yes, the DLCs, which added like 10 or 15 new racers to the game, and like 40 or like, oh my god, how many tracks were added?
Basically double the amount of tracks, right?
Yeah, I think it was double the amount.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we've been sitting on this Mario Kart for way too long.
Way too long.
I'm kind of over it. I think I got over waiting. Like when I stopped waiting for new Elder Scrolls game,
Yeah.
which was a while ago.
Yeah.
Like these games are going to come out, and I'm going to play Elder Scrolls 6, just like how I'll play the next Fallout game.
For sure.
But I'm not going to expect it to be as good as Skyrim.
Right.
If it is, great, but I'm not going to put that expectation on it. Just because the time thing and because of how much I love Skyrim, that might be... I might be saying it because I'm playing the game right now, but it might be my favorite game. Definitely one of the best games of all time that I've put in the most hours
It's a timeless game.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I'm still playing it. It came out in 2011. I'm still playing it.
See,
Right.
my expectations are different, right? My expectations are you can take as long as you want. You just better deliver a game better than Skyrim. I don't care how long it takes.
See, that's a reasonable point of view, which I have abandoned.
Huh.
I don't think
So-
that thing. I don't. If a developer does that, then great. But I don't.
Look at Nintendo, baby. How are they going to top Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
I don't know.
And they said you can drive your car right into the water and it transforms into a jet ski.
The scream that I screamed when I saw it. Like, I'm not... Oh, my God. In the trailer, it was crazy because they just start with the Yoshi diner. That's all you see. And so you know immediately what's coming, but, like, nobody knew it was going to be open world like that. It's insane.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, and so Switch 2 is also adding something that is very hard to believe is new in 2025, something called Game Chat, right? We talked about that.
We
a little
talked.
bit.
Yeah.
Game Chat literally is Discord in a sort of sense, and if you're unfamiliar with Discord, it opens up the option of talking to your friend that you're playing with on another Switch console without the use of a computer or a cell phone. There's a microphone built into the Switch too.
And you don't even have to be playing the same game, which is really cool.
You can now stream a game from my console, say, to Liam's console without the use of a computer or a capture card. So it's done effortlessly, which is very nice. And now they have also actually added the option, any USB-C webcam, and they are releasing their own webcam as well, is
Just clip it on right
capable.
on top so you can.
Yep, with the Switch 2. And so now you yourself can be a part of the game while you're playing with others.
It's also a Piranha Plant mic. Or Piranha Plant camera that they're putting out. It's not good. It's 480p. I think they're making it.
Terrible resolution,
But kind of like you
collectible.
want it. Yeah.
yeah, how can you pass it up? Especially as a hardcore Nintendo fan. How are you going to look at this Piranha Plant and think, that's not going to be on my shelf? I need that on my shelf.
I feel like Nintendo has more of that type of audience, the collectors,
100%.
the mega fans. Whereas people like me, like I use Steam as my main thing, but
Sure.
I'm not like a Valve head.
Right.
I love what they did for gaming for sure, but I'm not like, I feel like you get more people who freak out over Nintendo stuff.
Yeah, like I can say that we love the brand. We love Nintendo as a brand.
I feel like they get more brand love in general.
Yeah.
What's the game that you're most excited about? With the
Donkey Kong.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
gotta
I was
be
gonna
Donkey Kong for
ask
him.
about that one next.
Am I right?
It's tough because I've never been huge on Mario Kart the way that I'm feeling I will be on this one this time around.
It's so unique.
So I obsess over the time I spend in my games, right? So like I've spent over 800 hours in Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've spent I think it's over 250 hours in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And only halfway through Tears of the Kingdom, I've already spent 160 hours in Tears of the Kingdom. So with that being said, I fully expect Mario Kart to be a similar situation where I am participating in the main course that is the game, right? The races, the outfit changes, but I also love the dessert, I guess you could call it, of like just the scenery and everything that is
the game design,
typically taken for granted and overlooked. But something I love doing is just sitting on the couch and stopping where I'm at and soaking it all in for 10-15 minutes. You know,
the Bethesda people call it cluttering the map, where when like you're adding little things, you're basically decorating the map. Even games that are ugly, like Fallout 3 is not a beautiful game, but you can, depending on where you are on the map, unless you're in a place that's really took a big old rip of that. Woo! It's a cart. It's not a.
Parts and I usually don't get along. Every rip I take
took a huge fucking rip. Dude.
Every rip I take out of a cart, I'm choking.
He immediately regrets it. He's like, "Why did I do that?"
Take a smaller one. Whatever you do, normally just do half. There's water bottles next to you, Sarah.
You know how often
down on my table
I think I'll just take a small rip and it'll be fine. And you know what ends up happening? Nothing at all. I don't get any rip at all.
So you're going for gold.
So
every time.
No. See, I'm a black or white kind of guy.
He is. It's true. I tell him that all the time.
It's something I find very difficult to break out of. I either try to take a little small rip and get absolutely nothing at all, or I try and take a rip, period, and I get way too much.
See what
Sarah did? That was a good, healthy amount.
That was perfect.
It's a work in progress.
We also usually get disposable ones, and they don't hit like something like this hits, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
I'll tell you what, though, I'm excited to hit it again. No, keep it. It's a circle. Come on.
No, it's fine. I just hit it. I have another one over here. So
what? Okay.
Stocked up.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I got that. I just bought that one because this one's almost empty, and I didn't want to have nothing for you. So because that would just be rude.
A good host,
gentleman.
So, yeah.
To touch back on what am I most excited for?
We were talking Donkey Kong.
Yes. So have you seen anything about Donkey Kong yet?
No, you are all of my information right now. I haven't seen anything about the Switch 2 aside from like seeing like thumbnails, only just thumbnails on YouTube with people. You know, I watched the video where they showed it off, like the form factor.
Yeah.
And then that's it. So I know about the, it's got 2 USB-Cs, the microphone, which I thought the Switch had a mic in it, but
no. Who knew?
I don't know.
Not me.
Also, the mouse capability. Have you seen that?
So I did not see that, but that's
this
something.
Is a perfect topic for Sarah to talk about.
Because the Steam Deck is out right now, they have to consider people running Linux on the Steam Deck. They can use a mouse with that.
Right.
So is there an operating system that you can? Or is it just for games?
It's just for games. So you can take the Joy-Cons off of the Switch 2, and you can actually twist them. So the part that's usually connected to the console is like on a table.
Okay.
And you can move it around, and there's these certain game modes where you can use both of them, so you're using both of your hands like that.
That's so cool.
That's
fucking awesome.
I am hoping that Nintendo brings back Mario Paint or revamps it, because that was one of my favorite games on the Super Nintendo. Because, oh my god, that would be amazing.
And then for that, I mean, that's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they already have it integrated in. They already have so many games coming out that are going to use the function that it's like, let's do it. Yeah.
That's so cool.
But Donkey Kong.
I don't know where to start. Other than, so, have you played Mario Odyssey?
No. Wait, which one's Odyssey?
Odyssey was
Is that the one
Switch
where you're in
title.
space? No.
That was the one where you throw Cappy around. That's Odyssey.
Okay, yeah, I did not play Odyssey.
Well, this will be a tough comparison then. So, I believe it's made by the same team that made Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey,
Definitely
for those
looks like it.
who don't know, is the Super Mario title for the Nintendo Switch, the original Nintendo Switch. It came out in, I think it was 2018 in October. And pretty much it is a cluster of open worlds that you get to go and explore, and it's truly a sandbox title that has you discovering little platforming mini games and little hidden secrets all throughout each of these worlds, each of these open maps. And so the idea is to collect moons this time around instead of stars or what are they, shines? And I think that was sunshine. You're collecting moons, and so there are hundreds of them in each of the worlds, and they're as simple as maybe you just need to hip drop on top of a bump in the grass and you might find one. Or you might
pop out real quick and you grab it.
Or it might be as simple or more difficult as like you get 2D printed into a Mario side-scrolling section, and you have to literally play old-fashioned Super Mario Bros. And you find a 2D pixelated moon at the end of that level. So you find challenges like that throughout the entire game, and there are multiple clusters of worlds, so you get to experience them in different environments, including like a prehistoric area with a Tyrannosaurus Rex, a desert area with sphinxes and pyramids, and so the main reason I'm mentioning all of the Super Mario Odyssey stuff is that I'm
assuming the Donkey Kong is a lot like this one. They took the same.
They tease
idea.
It as soon as they show it off, and everybody thinks, well, it's.
We thought it was Odyssey 2. We thought it was another Mario title.
Well, it's the Nintendo Switch 2. So you're thinking to yourself, we got to get a new Mario title. Of course, it's going to be what's the launch title going to be? Well, the launch title was Mario Kart. So in actuality, Nintendo said, here we go. We have a Mario title for you. Mm-hmm. But instead, we're going to give Donkey Kong his own 3D exploring platformer.
Open world, yeah.
So the point of the game is pretty much you smash things.
Switcheroo on everyone.
Yeah, I mean, he's the real star. Mm-hmm. Their first flagship title's Donkey Kong.
Country.
You play as Jumpman, but the game's called Donkey Kong.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you have Country 1, 2, and 3 that just, they're still icons for a lot of people. They love to play those games.
A lot of hardcore gamers still refer to them as the best 2D platformers in the genre. And so, yeah, you smash around. Like, the main point of the game is to destroy things. And you punch walls and they break, and you can basically, it's kind of like a better looking Minecraft with Donkey Kong. Mm-hmm. And you can find caverns, and inside the cavern there might be a hidden gold banana, and you walk over, and as soon as you break the banana, you collect it.
You can literally get from one side of the map to the other by destroying your way through the center of the map.
Okay, so the Minecraft thing
so like you can literally
you can
like all of the terrain is made to be destroyed or picked up and used to destroy other stuff, and you're supposed to just go wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty insane looking. But in the treehouse, I think they played it 2 times each day, so they showed off a lot of the gameplay for it and stuff, and it looks like it's gonna be fun. You do like a lot of I think you go underground a lot, so the levels take you like further and further down instead of staying ground level.
I mentioned this for Mario Kart too, how Mario Kart is one of those games that I can find myself kind of zoning out for 15-20 minutes at a time, just at the scenery in the background and all the extra little details that the developers have put in the game. Well, I can see Donkey Kong being the exact same way, where you just kind of, after your path of destruction, you stop what you're doing and you take a look around, and you're looking at the clouds and the scenery in the background. And it's going to be a lot of hours that I can see putting into the Switch 2 with these 2 games. Mind you, Switch 2 and Mario Kart World drop on June 5th this year.
Okay.
So we're less than 2 months away now, which is
It's gonna be a hot summer.
another thing I really, really respect about game developing. If you're gonna drop something, don't drop it next year. Don't give me a trailer that says this comes out in 2026.
Like they did with Metroid.
Or just
Yeah.
never say when
Yeah.
it's coming out.
Now in development. That pisses me off more than anything. You gave me a Skyrim render ass trailer that said Elder Scrolls 6 now in development.
Now in development means nothing.
Right.
Literally nothing.
You know what? I have a
That-
game in
that
development.
confirms that it's
going
not
on in my
fiction.
head.
Right.
It's just
Exactly.
me thinking about it.
Yeah.
But it's in development.
It's developing in my brain.
It confirms the fans aren't crazy and they're not just shooting smoke.
Yeah, so do you think Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be on the Switch? I mean, Skyrim was on the Switch.
I truthfully
So,
don't see why not. So that's actually a great segue, and another reason why I brought up getting lost in visuals is
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be... If it's okay, Fallout 4 isn't everyone's... I mean, Fallout 4, the graphics are probably the best part about it. And as
For
far as
sure.
like, the clutter and the map and everything...
I got a glitch in Nuka World that made me stop playing the game altogether. Like, I just stopped playing the game.
what happened?
It just
must have
wouldn't
been
let
bad.
me complete a quest.
unaccessible, yeah.
It just, like...
Some quest bug, and then you just got stuck and you couldn't...
Yeah, and, like, I'm a hardcore completionist, so that just, like... I couldn't do it. I couldn't move past it, and I haven't picked the game up since.
I don't blame you.
So another launch title for the Switch is actually Hogwarts Legacy 2, which I know you also had an issue with.
Oh, yeah.
You also had a bug in Hogwarts Legacy that did not let you 100% the game.
Yeah, but it tells me that I 100%ed it, but it says I have 149 out of 150 pages, but it says I have 100%.
That's pretty annoying.
Yeah.
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 So, but that's also coming to the Nintendo Switch too. So my point here is Nintendo's finally up to 4K. Nintendo's finally using HDR. And they're running at 120 frames per second, which actually blew me out of the water.
Yeah.
Was not expecting that at all.
People are going to like that.
Yeah. I mean,
That's better than the Steam Deck, I think. I think the Steam
Yeah.
Deck 60 hertz probably.
they're showing
60
off all of the scenes in the two Zelda titles that they had on the Nintendo Switch 2 are actually running the way they were intended, which is nice. It's very frustrating that this day and age we get a game released on a console and then a console or two later is when it actually runs when it's what it's intended.
Yeah, so that's sort of what I was alluding to earlier. So like Fallout 76
Which
was
they
unfinished when it came out.
and they have
apparently-
massively improved it, so I've been told.
So I've been told. I haven't actually tried it. Because,
Me neither.
You know why? Because I had that one bad experience
Correct.
and never went back. Because I'm a stubborn asshole. I know that.
I am too.
And-
You're a
And,
Taurus, aren't you?
Yeah. and as much as I hate to say it, it is true. But one moment.
No, I mean it's
Water
a
break.
fantastic.
A sip break.
It's a fantastic point, though, because if you
So
have
it's not just that game too, because I had other games. So Cyberpunk, I never played it either time, but it was the same deal with that game. People were complaining about it, and then years later, it's like a completely different game.
yeah, I've
apparently,
heard
like-
Cyberpunk's now very, very good.
So that's why
Also
I said,
coming
like,
to the Nintendo Switch 2, as a matter of fact. I just remembered that was in the trailer
yeah,
too.
it was.
Cyberpunk 2077 will be on the Nintendo Switch 2.
give me a Fallout New Vegas 2. How about that?
Yeah,
How about
yeah.
that?
Well, isn't the second season of the show supposed to be
Oh.
heavily integrated with New Vegas?
Have not watched the show, but yes.
Yowza.
Yes, you're
so
correct.
it's-
They tease Mr. House at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
They tease New Vegas itself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They show the sign and it's like panned out pretty far. Heavy spoiler alerts for Fallout on Amazon Prime, by the way. But they panned very far out, and you just see the
Just the
city
part
of
of the
New
strip.
Vegas and
Okay.
the sign and everything. Yeah,
I'm assuming Mr. House is probably already part of the Fallout show because he's the CEO of Robco, and Robco is like the biggest company. It's like, the Walmart of the,
I would love
not
to go
Walmart,
back and
but,
watch.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be this
The
like
shitty corporate company.
yeah, and he's supposed to be this almost like
I think they've been more focused around Poseidon Energy right now.
okay.
I think that's if I might.
It's been a little bit since we
misremembering.
watched the show, yeah.
But I think that's what they were touching on, and they really did an amazing job.
I only saw the first episode.
I'm blown
so
away. I
can't really talk about it.
absolutely impressed. Video game adaptations are hit or miss,
They are, and that's why I haven't watched it, because I've just been let down so many times. But I've heard lots. I'm getting the Fallout thumbs up right now. From Pat.
It's worth it.
Yeah, I've been told. My brother's been hounding me to watch it. Oh, every
it's
time I
good.
see my brother, he's like, "Have you watched it yet?" And I
Yeah.
say, "No." I'm still watching the same shows I've been watching
Yeah.
for the past like
I feel that.
15 years.
We
So
got-
just watch them again. I'm seeing new stuff. I'm
We
seeing
got
these
The
characters
Office
in
on
a different
repeat.
light. So,
Yeah, dude, the Office Superfan episodes. Oh my god.
Bring a new light to the same old series.
yeah, man.
It's fantastic.
I know how you feel. Yeah, Outer Worlds 2. I don't know if that's. I guess that'll be on the Switch too. That was announced.
I think
I
it
think
was.
so, yeah.
I think it was.
The Outer Worlds 1, though it didn't look as amazing as it did on the console at the time, still ran perfectly fine on the Switch.
I'm so glad to hear that because I bought it and
Yeah.
have not played it yet.
That game is amazing. I mean, you're probably better off. I guess you're better off on a TV for that game, because I mean, it's great to have that game in your pocket, or Skyrim in your pocket.
Yeah.
Like if you have to be like maybe you have like a long flight or something.
Yeah.
So, and I have trouble like concentrating or like zoning out on a flight. Like I'll do different stuff, but video games. I remember I played Pokemon on my phone for like a 6-hour flight one time, and it was the only thing I could focus on was that.
Didn't you do that with
So-
Mega Man?
Yeah, so last year I flew out to Seattle twice, and I managed to beat Mega Man 1 my first time out, and then I beat Mega Man 2 my second time out.
That's fucking awesome.
It was fucking awesome.
That's so great.
And I would never have been able to beat it on original hardware. I just have to say that. I absolutely have to confess that Mega Man 1 and 2 are hard. They're so hard. I got to a point where I was saving.
I've never played them.
I was saving mid-final boss battle, like because they let you like still frame save right there,
Well,
right
it's
then.
emulation.
Right.
So you can
So
save
like
the state of the
I
game
could be
and then-
mid-air, save it, and then I reload it, and I'm still right there mid-air.
So you
like,
just save scum the hell out of it
Oh,
just to get
save
through
scum.
it. Yeah.
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 and it worked. And let me tell you, I actually had to do that with Banjo-Kazooie on N64 too. That's one of the hardest games I've ever had to play. Banjo-Kazooie.
On the emulator on the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever have a chance to play N64, play Banjo-Kazooie. It's a fantastic title.
Or play it on the Switch too when they.
You could play it on Switch 1, but yeah, you could play it on Switch 2 as well.
They're also adding the GameCube
Yes,
emulator to
yes.
the Switch too,
Yep.
which
And
is a big deal.
right off the bat, which is fantastic as well, is for retro gaming fans like me, this is helping price gouging from people who own these old games and sell them for $500 plus.
Yeah, that is insane.
There's a game Chibi Robo that goes for like $150 on the GameCube that they're putting on the Switch emulator, or Switch 2 emulator for the GameCube, which means chances are people are going to start selling their GameCube titles now before it comes out because it's going to depreciate.
Are they adding the 3DS McDonald's training game?
That was on the
When can I
original Nintendo DS, but as
So you
far
know
as
the story.
I do know the story.
That's a pretty crazy story.
That's a expensive game to buy too.
It's extremely expensive.
You know, I'm pretty sure it was in China.
I watched a video of some guy, and I'll find it. I'll link it here if I can find it again. But he had to go through this whole process to buy it from some like shady third party.
Oh my God.
It probably was because it
And
was from
then-
China, right?
I guess so. And then his brother was over there during the height of COVID, so he had to basically his brother had to smuggle it back into
Oh
the
my
States.
God.
Smuggle, it's a fucking
Yeah.
video game, air quotes. But he couldn't get it shipped over here, so luckily his brother was over there. Yeah,
Well-
really crazy video about how this guy got his hands on a cartridge of the McDonald's Nintendo DS video game.
I don't know if you've heard about customs and video games, but there was actually an incident in customs where they slashed open a sealed version of Pokemon Yellow. I don't
Like
know
an
if
original Pokemon Yellow?
Pokemon Yellow.
Oh my God.
And I don't
They
know
thought
if
there
you're
was like paraphernalia or something in it.
familiar at all with like the pricing and the market for that, but that's like over $1,000. Like that's an expensive original sealed Pokemon Yellow that customs just ripped open.
I'm banging my head.
I literally think I would sue. Like, I think I would sue the TSA.
You
Because,
have a winning lawsuit in your
They
hand.
destroyed
Like-
it.
for that.
They destroyed it. Not
You just stole money from me, basically.
That's like it's not Pokemon Yellow, it's a Pokemon Gold bar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
God, that's upsetting just to hear. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah.
Just now
So,
I
like,
know
how
that
do
that
you
happened.
avoid that in the future if you're traveling? Take a boat, I guess.
Take a
Like, what do you do?
Take
what
a boat.
do you do?
Take the long way. Take the long road. Take the walk through the Bering Strait like your ancient ancestors.
Mail
did.
it
How
to
about
yourself, maybe.
that? The voice of reason. Yeah, probably just mail it to yourself.
I mean, if you want to take a boat, go off, but I'm not a fan. Cruise ships scare the crap out of me.
Cruise ships are captive communities where they can charge you whatever they want for booze and cigarettes and whatever.
That sounds about right.
And so that you're forced. You can't leave.
You're just
And
there.
it's fine because it's nice enough because it's really fancy, right? Because there's fancy things around, but you're forced to listen to the cruise ship comedian and drink the cruise ship $20 beer, and
The food they give you is the food they give you.
yeah, whether it tastes like shit or whether it's great. Are those eggs soggy?
Who cares?
Tough
Doesn't
shit.
matter.
Nope. You're not getting any cheese on your scrambled eggs, buddy. Fuck you.
This is a podcast approved cookie, you know that? I was afraid of the. I tried to block the mic just to be safe.
I quieted it down when you went to take a bite. It's okay. I'm eating donuts on previous episodes, and they're not as crispy because I used a little bit of brown sugar instead of all regular sugar. So that's why they're like kind of chewier.
We're moving towards the cooking tip portion of the podcast today, guys.
I wouldn't say cooking tip. I'm still working on that. I think I used too much brown sugar.
You also bake cookies, you don't cook them, so.
Bake. Yeah, that's true.
So that's my bad. But that was a good cookie.
I'm glad you like it. It's a pancake cookie.
You want one?
I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, so I hear Hammerfell's probably the place for Elder Scrolls 6.
I mean,
I don't know.
they've
I don't
touched
know
on Morrowind, Tamriel.
Well, they did Morrowind already.
That's what I'm saying. They've touched on those.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. I thought you meant touched on like they've teased or talked about. They haven't really talked about anything. But the
No, I
most
mean-
I've heard is Hammerfell because they haven't gone there yet.
Is that where the Khajiit are from? Where are they from?
The Red Guards, the Khajiit are from... I don't know. I don't know where the Khajiit are from.
Got that internet now, so
Yeah.
give me 1 sec.
I'm such a terrible podcast producer. Pat's looking up his own information. I have a computer right in front of me, and Pat's doing it on his phone.
What's really bad is I don't know how to spell Khajiit.
Kajiit?
No.
There's 2 I's or 2 J's, or maybe it's just J-I-T.
2 E's.
It's Jiit, yeah.
J-I-I-T? Okay, there you go. Yeah, I don't know where the Khajiit are from.
Elsewhere.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even know where that is geographically.
Elsweyr. I think that's how you pronounce that, right?
Yeah, I don't know where it is geographically. So when you look at the map, Skyrim is in the north, obviously. Morrowind is to the southeast-ish, so it's like sort of islandy. I haven't played Morrowind, though. And then Hammerfell is to the west.
I've heard rumors that they're remastering Oblivion.
I think that's confirmed.
It is confirmed.
Yeah, that's already a thing.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah,
why wouldn't they remaster Morrowind?
I'm glad that they announced it right after I bought Oblivion twice, because I bought the wrong version the first time, so I bought it again, and then they released they said that. Yeah,
I think he did a similar type of thing with Skyrim.
Bethesda. No, I have only bought Skyrim twice now, and the first time I bought it on an Xbox
only
One,
twies.
I've done it 3 times.
You know how many platforms that game is on?
Yeah, I know.
I could have bought it on not the Wii though. For some reason, that was the first thing that I wanted to say was the Wii. Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and that might be it. Might be. Nintendo Switch 2 pending. Because they'll do it. They'll say, here's the Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade pack, which, by the way, that's also a thing. So if you play certain Nintendo Switch games, like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Super Mario Party Jamboree,
Kirby, the Kirby title.
Yeah, the 3D Kirby title. They all are getting Switch 2 upgrade packs, and some of them are just frame rate and resolution upgrades, while others are including extra content.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's a great idea.
The Kirby and the Mario Party Jamboree are the 2 titles that are getting extra content.
Party.
And the 2 Zelda titles are just frame rate and resolution. However, they're adding to an app on the phone. It's already existing. It's the Nintendo Switch app. I'm sure they're going to change it to the Nintendo Switch 2 app soon. They're adding something that will help actually give you like GPS navigation from one Korok Sea to the next, from one shrine to the next, from one town to the next. In
okay, so you can have your phone
Zelda
up
games
right here while you're playing, and then it's just a little extra.
And it will
so if you're a completionist, it helps you get through the game, so you don't just get frustrated and you're like, I can't find this.
Yeah, or you can have your journal up, maybe like a quest journal or something.
Yeah, so there's actually a section, it's called Zelda Notes, that I think you can like post either helpful tips or in Tears of the Kingdom's case, there's builds that you can actually make, like things that will help you fly across the map or drive across the map or help you pick things up or this, that, or the other.
You can upload the schematic that you make so other people can use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I made like a motorcycle out of things in the game, I could put that on the Zelda app and you can copy and use the exact same one.
Man, everything's becoming so seamless.
Yeah.
I love that about Nintendo. They like want everybody to be together. Yeah. They want people to they want a community out of it, not just like, give me your money.
Yeah. Not just like GTA 6.
Yeah, but whatever.
$100 for the best game you've ever played. You're going to play it forever. That's why we're charging more.
That kind of is
a simulation of reality.
Yeah, I mean, that's what... Again, Cameron and I were talking gaming on the last episode, and I've been bagging on GTA for a while now because I didn't like GTA 5. I thought GTA 4 was better. So I don't expect anything, and saying like charging more money than Baldur's Gate 3, and saying like, oh well, you're gonna play the game forever. Like I'm still playing games that are, I still play Jack 2, from time to time, which came out forever ago. Which is a super old game from my childhood. So like, that's like a person to person thing. I might play this game for 5 hours and just quit.
So it is frustrating too, though, because if you look, like, I'm not a huge fan of defending it, but to a certain extent, inflation exists, and games have cost $60 since literally the N64, where they're packaging it in cardboard and they're putting it in this huge hunk of plastic that probably costs more for them to produce than it does now. And I can kind of understand why they haven't really raised prices too much, but inflation is getting much, much higher and higher and higher as the years are going on. So
I agree, but it's Rockstar, Like I would pay,
Yeah.
I would pay
Rockstar-
double the amount I paid for Baldur's Gate 3.
People
because
are
it's that good of a
expecting
game.
them. People are expecting Rockstar to charge $100 for a GTA 6. I think that's absolutely fucking asinine.
It's not gonna be good.
Am I allowed to curse on here?
Yeah, we've been cursing the whole fucking time.
Am I allowed to curse? You're
I
so
don't know.
cute.
I dropped the F-bomb pretty hard, so I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, the show's edited, so I take out like dead air, and then, I do as little editing as possible. But like the coffee thing, I'll have to edit that. So
Yeah.
I do very little because usually the conversations kind of just flow. So, but yeah, you can curse, you can say whatever you want.
Cool.
You talk about whatever you want. Say fuck, shit. You bloody cunt. I've been slowly working on my British accent over the years because I've always wanted to be able to do it. And you bloody cunt. I guess that's Australian. That's what they would
Yeah.
say.
That
They
that
would
kind
call
of
you
sounds
that.
Australian. But I feel
I
like
don't
you
know
need
how
to have
British-
both to master. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Australian, mate. Foster's for beer.
that was pretty good.
Sorry. Foster's Australian for beer. They don't even drink that over there.
Foster's?
No, they don't drink Foster's in Australia.
The only time I've ever heard anybody talk about Foster's was Between Two Ferns.
That's Zach Galifianakis' show, right?
Yes,
Yeah, his movie. the
Yeah,
movie.
on
God.
Netflix. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Just
Didn't
do me
he-
a favor and read this for me. Foster beer. It's the best beer for foster kids. She's like, no, I'm not going to read that.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I forget my point. What I was saying when I said fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm biased against Rockstar just because I don't like GTA 5.
Oh,
and
that's
it's
what
like,
I was
It
talking
seems
about.
like it seems like that's too much money when you have a game like Baldur's Gate 3 on the market. Which
Yeah.
again, I would pay $120 for a game that good. Now, I had to pay the money first and put some hours in to know it was that good.
Right.
But I'm gonna be honest. The first time I looked up the gameplay, I saw it for maybe like 30 seconds. I was like, yeah, that's for me. And then I bought the game right away, and I'm very happy I did. It's like probably my favorite new game right now.
I've watched Mark Hoppus play that game on Twitch.
So it's made by Larian Studios, and I don't know much about them. So I've actually stopped playing Baldur's Gate 3, and I went back to the game they made before to kind of get a feel for their...
2?
No, so Baldur's Gate 2 came out back in the PlayStation 2 era
Isn't that crazy?
from a different developer.
It was on GameCube too.
There you go. And I didn't know about this
Yeah.
back then. I was never into D&D until maybe a year or two ago. So this is all new. I kind of got into D&D, the board game, the same time I got into this game. So, but yeah, the first Baldur's Gate game is from like the 90s, I think. And then the second one's from like 2002, 2003, something like that. And then there's this huge jump. Kind of like Fallout with Fallout 3, because Interplay wasn't doing anything with Fallout until Fallout 3.
Is that what happened? Interplay owned it first, and then Bethesda bought it.
And then Bethesda, they were hot off of Oblivion. I was watching the making of videos, because Bethesda there's the making of Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout 3. And yeah, they were saying it was something that they wanted to do for a while because they were fans. At least Todd and his crew, I guess his inner circle. I don't know how it works there, but I
Inner
imagine
circle.
Like he's a government conspiracy guy.
it's like the secret room, and Todd's on this raised marble chair with a scepter.
Little stool.
For the longest time, I never realized he's a really short guy.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a really short guy.
At least when we see him on the awards shows.
Yeah, every time we see him on like the Game Awards and stuff.
Shorter than you'd expect, because you normally see like the top.
He
half.
just seems like such a big guy. You know what I mean?
I feel the way about Joe Rogan, because sometimes you see pictures of Joe Rogan with his arm around someone else, and his arm's
He's
way
like
up
mini,
here.
yeah.
Like if he's next to a particularly tall person, he's like this. And I always forget because Joe Rogan's so like big. He's like a muscle man.
Yeah.
So it's
Not proportionate.
He's probably sensitive about that.
His fragile ego.
Greetings, streetwalkers. This Paul Crass is sponsored by Herbie Harassment. So, you You got fired. What are you gonna do? So, your dad forgot to wish you a happy birthday this year. Are you gonna let that go unnoticed? Your wife is fucking the elevator operator. Are you gonna sit around and just take that? No, no. You're gonna call Herbie Harassment, the world's leading harassment firm. These guys and gals have all kinds of tactics which cause serious distress for your adversaries without actually breaking any laws. The best part of it is, you don't even have to lift a finger. Once subscribed to their services, you have the option to receive regular reports about your harassments on a monthly, weekly, or even daily basis. Our team is detailed-oriented and will record as much of the harassing as possible so that you can experience maximum viewing pleasure from the comforts of your home or office. Plans start at the phone call level and go up from there, all the way up to Dead Horse Head in the Bed package. Use this special code and get one free pie throw. Anyone you choose. The code is Pete Street Bombcast. No. Pete Street Armcast. Oh, Jesus Christ, mean, beat, calm rat. The code. It is Beat Pete's Hard Mast. Lee's Pete. Yeah. Here, the code is in the description. Give us a call at 555-432-2265 and get even.
No, but what's also crazy on top of all of this Nintendo stuff is Epic Universe and Universal opening up.
Yeah, so that's opening up
Nice segue.
this
May?
year.
Yeah,
right?
May of this year. So
And you're going.
we're going in October.
Yeah.
So that's more Harry Potter stuff.
Might be content on my channel.
Yeah, Ministry of Magic, which is a huge
That's
deal.
right, that's
it looks amazing.
And then it's villains, right?
Yeah, so they have
Dark universe.
There's technically 5 universes, and the main hub is Celestial Park, which Universal actually developed an IP behind it. So it's its own story in Epic Universe. It has to do with like mythology and the sun and the moon and all that kind of stuff and constellations. And then off of it, because it's like a hub park, there's Isle of Berk from How to Train Your Dragon. There's the Ministry of Magic ride, but it's also supposed to be 1920s Paris, which is Fantastic Beasts. So they kind of meshed the 2 Harry Potter universes in
Makes
that area. And then they have Dark Universe, which is the just classic Universal monsters. So like Creature of the Black Lagoon and like Dracula and werewolves and stuff like
That's
that.
really
Frankenstein.
cool. Yeah, like classic stuff.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
And then, of course, new Super Nintendo World with Donkey Kong Country already attached to it, which is a huge deal because when they opened Super Nintendo World in Japan, they opened Country, I think, as an expansion afterwards. But in Epic Universe, it's all opening together.
And Super Nintendo World in Hollywood does not have it at all.
Yeah, there's no Donkey Kong in the one in Hollywood.
Man, what a year.
Yeah.
I always forget how big the park is. I think the new park they're doing, it's bigger than both their parks combined. Correct?
Yeah, and it's in a whole separate area, so it's like I think it's like 10 to 15 minutes away from the original parks.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, with like Disney and then all the stuff around that area, like driving through there, it's so crazy now.
Well,
because I remember
I haven't been there in 10 years since we were seniors in high school. So I'm so excited to go.
even from then, like I remember being there, like driving through there. I was just there not too long ago, and it's dense. Like it's all built up way more than it was like going on when I was a kid going down and seeing stuff. It just felt like it was just one highway with some hotels, but now there's just so much stuff around it. And
we've been watching YouTube videos about Universal and their development processes and plans, and they literally have like, I guess, public records of owning expansion plots
already
next to a lot of these new worlds in Epic Universe, on top of old attractions, which is the popular one that most people talk about in Universal is the Lost Continent. And so they're talking about doing new things with those old attractions and then with the expansion plots. And so the really fun part for me, a hardcore Nintendo fan, So there's an expansion plot right next to Super Nintendo World. And if you go in a store in Super Nintendo World, they have stained glass pictures of Mario,
Donkey
Kong, Link from The Legend of Zelda, Zelda from The Legend of Zelda.
And they have like a lot of decor and what's his name?
Welcome to the first church of Nintendo.
And they actually
Stained glass? That's insane.
Yeah.
That's so fucking cool. I
so
mean,
a
you
lot of
only see that in
people
old
are
churches.
saying that like the expansion might be Hyrule and Zelda.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, that's a huge community.
Yeah, it's a big, like, the Reddit thread is going crazy about it and stuff.
Not only Hogwarts Castle in Epic Universe, not only Peach and Bowser's Castle in Epic Universe, but imagine the Kingdom of Hyrule, which it's for somebody deep into the Nintendo lore as I am. The pictures and the renders that they use are all from The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. So if you go and you look at the main hub of Castle Hyrule in the Twilight Princess, it looks like something that you can absolutely replicate and throw right into a amusement park. There's a fountain smack dab right in front of the castle with the Hylian crest and water spurting up inside the fountain. There's brick laid. There are flags hanging off of pillars that lead into the castle with the big, huge castle doors sitting right there in front of you. Like, it's 100% doable if they're doing all of this with these other franchises.
Maybe that's next phase.
That's what we're thinking.
Well, wasn't the creator out there too?
That's the nail in the castle, or in the casket for me. Is Eiji Aonuma is the series producer of Nintendo since of Legend of Zelda since Ocarina of Time, which was back on the N64. He has done Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild.
Basically an
Kingdom.
icon.
Literally, if it's Zelda, he's a part of it. And if he's a part of it, it's Zelda. And Universal accidentally leaked photos of Shigeru Miyamoto and Eiji Aonuma, both in construction uniforms in Super Nintendo World.
Like with hard hats on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like Universal posted it on their own accounts, like their official Universal accounts.
Someone
so like
fucked up.
Yep.
Some dumb intern.
I was like, somebody got fired.
Yeah. Some guy was like, yeah, this will look good.
Like, this is great. Look at them. They look like they're having so much fun.
Doesn't even recognize who he's looking at when he posts the photo. Yeah, these two guys. I don't know who they are, but this
these
photo
two
looks
Nintendo
nice.
executives are here
In hard hats.
looking at Mario stuff.
I said they probably sent the ninjas out after him.
Yeah. Yeah, the ninjas. I'm afraid to jailbreak my Switch because of those ninjas. So
Yep, they'll find you.
I jailbroke my 3DS, which was fun. I just did it for the experience.
Yep.
And also to get the H shop because they closed the 3DS shop.
Right.
Unfortunately. But yeah, that's one thing. I wanted to say this earlier, that people are going to be happy about the emulation because they're not going to be... Because I know that there's a lot of people who have a Switch and they either have to jailbreak it and they have to go through... all this stuff to just stay safe, or like they want to emulate more on the Switch.
Right.
But I guess the emulation now is limited. Right. There's only certain games you can do.
Yeah, it is still gonna be limited, but they're opening up
because
more
they're doing
games.
GameCube now, right?
Yes.
You said that's new.
On
Okay, so
the Switch 2, yeah.
I think people are going to be happy about that because they're not going to have to like jailbreak it or be worried about jailbreaking it
Downloading an
just to-
emulator on your PC and
Yeah.
stuff like that is usually how a lot of
Yeah,
people play
exactly.
GameCube games.
Yeah,
so
Dolphin emulator. Yeah.
this is a big deal.
With the inclusion of GameCube, that brings them up to a total lineup of the original NES, the Super NES, the Game Boy, the N64, the Game Boy Advance, the GameCube, and for whatever reason, the Sega Genesis. So you can now emulate those.
All of that.
I guess
Yes.
they own. Or do they have a deal with Sega? Like, what's Sega doing right now?
Sega is no longer.
Sonic.
Yes. Sega is no longer standing on their own. They're fully partnered with
With Nintendo?
most gaming console companies
in general.
So
Okay.
if Sonic comes out, it'll be on the Switch, it'll be on Xbox, it'll be on PlayStation. I don't think they're ever really playable on the computer, but Sega is really cool when it comes
There's
to
a version of one of them on Apple Arcade.
Yeah, they do have Apple Arcade, a lot of iOS and Apple games that are on like the phone stores.
Yeah.
But most of them, like most of the games, aren't available on PC. That might not be true. You might be able to get them on Steam. You probably can get them on Steam.
I can
Come to
check.
think of it. Yeah,
I can
get back
check
to
while
me
we're
on that.
talking. Yeah. Actually, do my job.
But the really cool thing about Sega is they are completely open, and they don't send lawsuits to people who mod and do that with Sonic games. So
Which Nintendo will absolutely sue
yes,
you.
100%.
How gracious of them.
Sega, yeah. So they have
It's a little
game.
easier to support them when you know that.
I'm sure most people have heard of it. I'm sure most people aren't sure that there's actually a completely different game called Sonic the Hedgehog that came out in 2006. That's literally all it's called, is Sonic the Hedgehog, and it came out in 2006, and it is Sega's worst game ever. Absolutely 100% Sega's worst game.
Is it as bad as the Shadow the Hedgehog with the handgun game?
That's actually referred to as a good game, and
Really?
has skyrocketed in price
Are you
since,
Because of the
serious?
movie.
since Sonic the movie 3.
This is new to me.
Yes.
I think they've been really profiting off of the Sonic movies they've been putting out.
Well, there's also, if I can go down that Shadow the Hedgehog rabbit hole a little bit, there's literal audio files of the voice actors cursing in the game, because originally they were gonna have
Yeah.
just balls to the wall, like mature rating for Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah, they went in that direction.
And
for
then
sure,
I
with
think
the-
a lawsuit happened in the same
With the
year.
murder and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, Maria, poor Maria.
There's
Think it-
too many Sonic games on Steam, by the way, to name them all.
Yes, which makes sense. So back to my point, though. Sonic 06 was not on Steam because it's delisted and it's no longer purchasable on any digital platform at all. And the only way to play it would be to own the Xbox 360 version or the PlayStation 3 version.
Okay.
Look it up, Sonic the Hedgehog. And so the...
2006.
Yeah, it's 2006. The modding community has created Sonic the Hedgehog Project 06, and they have fixed every single inconsistency and flaw with the game. And so now it's actually completely playable. It's runnable on PC, and yeah, Sega, I wish Sega would just like buy it and sell it.
This sounds like what's going on with Star Wars Battlefront 3 right now.
Oh, I
because
didn't even know that was the thing.
There was the game was in development, and so this has been going on for a long time. There are a couple builds of Battlefront 3 out from that time, but there's a most recent Wii build of the game from 2008, I think it is.
So is
so
Battlefront 3 an actually released title, or is
No,
this an
it
unreleased
was never
title that was
released.
in process?
It was canceled before, right before the game would have came out.
Oh, so it's an officially made game that just never really actually saw release.
So it's not completely done, but there's a Wii build of the game that's almost done, so it's playable for the layman if you can get it up. You need like you need a modded Dolphin emulator to play it.
Sure.
And you need to change some settings around. I haven't. It's fine.
Sorry, everybody.
I haven't been able to get the game running at the proper frame rate because I guess I'm just not good enough at. I don't know. I got to try it again. But yeah, it's like sort of a community-driven thing to play this game. They did this whole, campaign with a story mode where you're like one of the clones, and yeah, like there's like weird debug stuff on the screen here and there.
Sure.
And you have to jury rig it a little bit because you got to play it on the computer. It's a almost finished Wii version of the game. But yeah, it's community driven. That's it, because
That's just so cool in itself.
whatever. I guess Lucas whatever their LucasArts
Lucasfilm Games.
Yeah, whatever that they kind of abandoned.
It might be LucasArts, actually. I think you're right.
It would be great to see an official release of it, like at that point, because I think if communities get big enough, they sort of get acknowledged after a certain point, right? So
there's a content creator that I follow. I like to consider a friend of mine as well, named K Quarter out there, and he actually has found more than one. I think the count is up to about 3 now. Unreleased games. One was for the GameCube, and 2 were for the GameCube. The Game Boy Advance. And he actually got a chance to bring them to light with the platform that he has on Instagram and TikTok.
They were also like undocumented pretty much previously. So like he's kind of the first person to document them on the internet too.
Yeah, so now they're dumped.
Almost like preserving the history.
Them. Gotcha. So no one even talked about these games before.
Nope. Didn't know they were. I think it was called Pickles, and it's a game about a monkey riding a unicycle, and it's kind of like a collectathon, like a lot of Nintendo GameCube games. And it really never saw much more than a level 1 design. Mm-hmm. Like you could try to go to other levels, and it will just kind of render nothing. Yeah, it'll just be like a white room, but he had the chance to shed some light on it, get some exposure to it, and they actually got a chance to dump it on the internet, and now it's playable and recorded. Like Sarah said, it's documented.
So the Oblivion remake, that's going to make a lot of the Bethesda modding community happy, I would imagine. Because there's a version, if you go on Nexus Mods right now, and I've played it, where it's a mod pack for Oblivion that's 400 mods. That all work seamlessly together, and if you go through and it's taken years to get to this point, but it's Oblivion, but it kind of plays like Skyrim. It has not exactly because it's a different game, but I would imagine the Oblivion remake is going to be pretty similar to a heavily modded version of Oblivion.
I like to believe these companies take a look at the modding communities.
Some do. I mean, whoever, if they're really doing that. Well, they are. It's official, the Oblivion remake. I mean, there's a small group of people at Bethesda who are actually, considering the legacy players, I guess, and not just trying to, I don't know, do whatever else they're doing, releasing stuff too early, I guess. But no, I guess my point is that the Oblivion remake is for the fans of the series.
Right. It's not drawing new people in. It's for people who already love it.
The amount of new people that's going to draw on is like less than 1%.
Right.
So it's all, for the...
I must be part of that 1%, however. I've never played the original. I've always wanted to. Never got around to it. I might now.
I'm playing it right now. I'm playing it unmodded because the graphics, I find them charming. I don't mind that, I mean, they're limited for sure, but if the story's good enough, like if the game's good enough...
Limited graphics doesn't equal bad game.
No, not at all.
And not enough people get that.
Yes. So even though the modded version of Oblivion looks great, I'm trying to experience it as it was in 2006 or...
For what it actually is.
Yeah, exactly. So I haven't beaten it yet, but, I've gone through a couple Oblivion gates and... starting to get a feel for it. The magic's different. So in Skyrim, magic is just one of your hands, or one of your mouse buttons, or one of your triggers on your controller. But in Oblivion, your magic is just one single button. So you have a spell like Fireball, and you might hit like the C key, and you throw a fireball. So it's like a third thing. You can have a sword and shield in your hand, and then you can throw some magic too.
Wow,
it's interesting. Yeah, and it's cool to see.
I wonder why they wouldn't carry that over.
Well, from watching the making of Bethesda games, from what they want to try to outdo themselves each time. That's one theme I've heard them, or at least Todd and other people in Todd's special inner circle talk about, is that they want to reinvent the game. So like Fallout 3, they completely reinvented the Fallout series. If you look at Fallout 2 and Fallout Tactics, those are drop-down, turn-based or semi-turn-based games. And Fallout 3 is a first-person shooter, sort of. You have VATS. for FPS with VATS, right? So that's a complete revolution for Fallout.
For most first-person shooters too.
So yeah, exactly, because it might not be as fluid as like Modern Warfare 2, which was just an FPS.
It's also free roam.
Yeah, exactly. RPG, free roam, FPS.
And I mean, I'm not huge in the genre, but I can't tell you many more games that are first-person free roam.
And at the time, too, even less. Now there's a lot of options. I mean, you have the Fallout games, you have Outer Worlds, you'll have these Nintendo games. There's the Zelda games free roam.
I wouldn't consider that a first-person shooter.
Oh yeah, I guess I'm thinking. Yeah, that's not a shooter.
Maybe Doom.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe Doom 2016. Maybe Doom Eternal. But I
Yeah.
never played them.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if they're free roam or if they're linear.
I don't know either.
But yeah, like when you think about it, Bethesda is kind of got a monopoly on first-person shooter free roam when it comes to Fallout, and not necessarily saying that Skyrim is a first-person shooter, but it can be if you're using
Bow and arrow.
If you're using bow and arrow and
Magic.
spells,
Yeah,
you're only doing ranged attack. So
yeah. It's not a gun, but you're still shooting something.
right,
Yeah, and if you look at the leap from Oblivion to Skyrim, I mean, they're the same passion. I think went into like the same energy, whatever you want to call that. The love went into it.
The secret ingredient.
Yes, yeah. Which I hope we'll see with Elder Scrolls 6. But yeah, they
I
completely.
mean, like, they kind of owe the fan base that, in my opinion.
Yeah,
well, here's my thing. Here's my
I think
thing.
so, too.
They know.
I've just given up. I've given up. I don't
I
care
totally
anymore.
understand.
I don't care about it.
It is what it is. We'll get it when we get
They
it.
know they can sell Skyrim on 8 different consoles and for a freaking like Samsung Smart refrigerator, So like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't
Texas
they?
Instrument calculator,
Why wouldn't they
graphic calculator.
give us
for
a
it.
game that's exactly that, but better? Something that they can market to the next 7 generation of consoles, just like they did to us. It's not 7 generations, but like Skyrim was on.
Sure feels like it.
It's
Xbox
basically on
360.
three different generations now.
Yeah, like the fact that we're pushing 30 and still waiting on it is kind of insane when you think about it from that perspective.
Game came out before I was 18, I think.
2011,
Eh,
11/11.
that was I 16.
That one I cannot look up. You'll have to figure.
That's
that one.
longer than we've been together.
Yeah, it has.
And Fallout 5 is going to be even longer of a wait because Elder Scrolls is going to come before Fallout. So,
Which it should.
we might be in a nursing home.
14 years ago.
Hopefully somebody comes and plays it with me or lets me watch them play it.
Let's try to be in all the same nursing home together. And we could share. We could share a TV.
We'll all go in on the console.
Yeah, whatever.
Hey,
console.
Liam. Hey, Liam. Skyrim drops
Roll
today.
over here.
Get in the wheelchair. We got to get to the TV.
Can I still go full mage to change that shit too?
You can go full mage, then some.
Gonna try to make us play VR.
Oh, my God.
No thanks.
Imagine the old folks in the old folks' home playing VR, though.
No, like I see like adults, like dads that like fuck their TV up because they're playing VR and they get too into it. That's so scary to me.
There's certain steps in technology where you just need to skip because it's too rudimentary. It's a test phase for the real thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So once you have in Star Trek,
The Wii U.
they have.
Yes, exactly.
There's one sitting right there if you want to abuse it.
I was absolutely
Cute little chunky
shocked
tablet.
to come down in this basement, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in
Wii U.
between to see a Wii U sitting on
Yeah.
Liam's shelf.
Next to my
I was
Switch.
dumbfounded. I thought I was the only one in New Jersey to still own one.
Still plugged in, the lights on.
Yeah, I hear if you unplug it, it'll die. That's not a joke.
Maybe it was never meant to live.
They cut costs and everything, and apparently, like the chips that they put in, if you don't have electricity currently running through them all the time, it'll just like
Self-destruct.
fall apart. Yeah.
Well, it's not worth much more,
Can
right?
you imagine smoke like shooting out the back of it, like it farted, and that's it? Self-destructed. It's
So
dead.
I did that to my computer one time because I wired things incorrectly and I plugged the wrong thing.
Oh,
into the
no.
motherboard, and I saw smoke coming out.
I did that at work once. I turned a pool pump on, and it ran dry for too long.
Oh, no.
And I didn't realize it. I was like, oh my God, it's not primed.
It happens. This is how you learn.
It cooled down. It was okay.
Look, it happens once. You learn for a lifetime.
Yep.
Or you're just a walking disaster. One of those two.
Yeah, sometimes you
I
just
know
don't
a
catch
few
on,
of them.
right?
So in Star Trek, they have a holodeck on their spaceships. So
Okay.
it's a big room, and you walk in, and then you have a little tablet, and you put, I want to be in Paris, France, 1962, and then it's a holographic projection, and I'll do that. But the VR, if I have to put something on my head, I don't.
I get
I'll
motion
skip
sick,
it.
honestly.
Yeah, me too. I can't even do the rides, the motion rides, like a lot of Universal
I have to
rides.
take Dramamine to fly on a plane, so it's like
so-
intense.
If I have to put it on my face, I'm fine. I'll skip it.
Especially
very
with the
glad.
glasses, I'm good.
Yeah, no, I don't even like wearing glasses. I wear my glasses as little as possible.
I'm
so.
very glad Nintendo
wish.
hasn't
Too
invested
blind.
too much time into VR. They really have avoided it. They kind of dabbled with it a little bit with Nintendo Labo, if you remember
Labo.
that whole experimental
The
concept.
cardboard they charged for.
Yeah, it was-
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. That McDonald's meal little cardboard toy.
That they charged
Yeah.
money for.
yeah, $80. And people are complaining Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart World is $80, and here we are buying Nintendo Labo for $80.
I'm not an advocate for charging $80 for a game, but I'll pay $80 for that game because I know I'll get my money's worth out of it.
Yeah.
There are certain games that are going to be $80 that it's like, come on, why are you going to charge me $80
Like
for this?
I would pay $80 for like Elder Scrolls 6.
I would, yeah.
I
think 80 is a decent jump from 60.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
make a very good point. I mean, $60, it has been that for a very long time.
Over 20 years, 20 plus.
But I think making the jump up to 80 is a little bit more natural than making the jump up to 100.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
even if you made the jump up to 80 maybe 2 years ago when this inflation, it's hard to pinpoint exactly when. You could speculate, but anyway, over the past 5 years, right?
Right.
Companies could have started slowly raising it instead of making the big jump from 60. to
They have.
100.
I mean, some companies have been charging 70 over the last year for games. Tears of the Kingdom was a $70 game, so I guess I could say over the past 2 years. But Tears of the Kingdom is also another one of those games that I can easily justify spending $70 on it because I will be spending 300 plus hours in the
hundreds.
game in one gameplay, mind you. So, like, if I go back and play that again a second time, that's easily 500 hours in one single $70 purchase.
I'm really hoping we'll see like more fluctuation with prices almost, like instead of everything being like a industry standard, like this game's worth $30, this game's worth $50. Like it
That's
would
how-
be great to see that.
So Steam's a completely different atmosphere,
Right.
Because it's just different. They have way more independent stuff. I don't even know what the independent game community in Nintendo is like, if there is one.
There's a
there
huge
is
one. I
one.
love it. I love indie games, especially on the Nintendo eShop. That is like my jam.
So that's sort of what I was alluding to. Like, you get a lot of. See, I'm not familiar with that at all, but I look through Steam on occasion, and there's all these.
Sarah is my
community-made-
go-to indie game consultant when it comes to any indie game.
So that's usually where you see the variations in prices. on
Right,
Steam.
yeah.
Or like when I bought Baldur's Gate 3, I bought it for like $40 because it was
Yeah.
on sale. Baldur's Gate 3 for $40?
Right. Like
That's
you can't
crazy.
beat that.
So-
You
so
can't beat that.
that
That's
is-
a Christmas Steam sale, and it was when the game really popped, so everyone was buying it. They're still making money, but
That
still,
is something in itself,
crazy
that
cheap.
statement, right? So, Nintendo games, if you historically look at Nintendo game prices, Nintendo does not put them on sale themselves. You are only going to get them cheaper for $60 unless they are putting them on sale for like a special holiday,
Like Mario Day.
Mario Day, or from a third-party retailer.
Because you're buying cartridges. So.
Yes. So Nintendo's game prices
Bandit Video.
don't typically go typically they don't go down in price even after Nintendo stops selling them, right? You can find so many N64 games that are still selling for $60.
I paid $60 for Soul Silver.
Okay,
Wow.
so Pokemon we're not even going to talk about because that's going to be a whole conversation itself. That could be another.
He needs a whole nother day to talk about Pokemon.
Yeah, that could be another podcast episode. Just like Xbox, I was thinking about that a little bit earlier in the conversation. Xbox conversation
And
one day,
Microsoft,
and how they're dropping the ball left and right. But this year, it seems to be a glimmer of hope. Could be a conversation.
A glimmer
too.
of hope.
With the point being made that Nintendo doesn't typically drop their prices, most other game developers do. So you'll find Capcom
Their
puts
games
out
retain value in a way that I don't understand. Like
You'll
Nintendo's
find
games don't depreciate.
Street Fighter 6, which has a passionate community, which has die-hard fans since 1980s, 1990s, right?
Yeah, the cabinets from
The
arcades
games
back in the day.
still go
They're
on
so cool.
sale. You'll still be able to find Street Fighter 6 for $40 depending on the year. Like 2-3 years from now, you'll probably be able to find it for $20, right? Whereas Super Smash Bros. Ultimate still goes for $60. Still. Retailer, third-party sellers, still.
A Wii U title?
No. Smash Bros. Ultimate is a 2018 Switch title.
Oh, the poor Wii U. poor thing.
I wonder how the Super
gets a
Smash
break.
Bros. Wii U sells for. I'm going to look that up. Because the Wii U games are absolutely one of those oddities that
Niche.
didn't stay true to the Nintendo their trend, because like Wii games were like so expensive, right? Like even after the Wii was out of it, because the Wii U still played Wii games,
Right.
so the Switch didn't play Wii U games. You got Switch versions of the Wii U that were on carts instead of on discs. So any Wii U game that got republished onto the Switch lost a lot of value.
Yeah, you have to consider that. Into
The money,
pricing.
the Mario Party flagship title for the Wii U is on the Switch with more content for $60 for a really good additional content. I'm told. I haven't played it yet. Mario Kart 8 speaks for itself. Captain Toad got a Switch version and got extra DLC on the Switch.
A sleeper hit if you like puzzle games, honestly.
Yes. Yeah. Most of those titles that did well on the Wii U got rebranded onto the Switch for another $60. So all of the Wii U versions didn't really retain value because they are no longer
'cause there's no point
the
in
optimum reason
it's
to
like
play it.
a failed console.
And like they're fully aware of
with
how
not
bad it
completely
did.
failed, but
In
like,
air quotes,
most people's
half-baked
minds.
games, and
Yeah.
you can consider it a half-baked game now because the Switch version just has more full
Yeah.
content to it.
You're way
Yeah.
better off getting a Switch and playing the game that way.
So
Yeah.
with Nintendo raising their prices to $80, it's like, all right, this is a bit of a concern. This is an industry titan who doesn't need to raise their price to $80 to continue making great profit, to continue keeping their business in business. They are doing that now. What is going to be the ripple effect that happens because of this?
This is a U.S. dollar too. They're selling the Switch 2 for, I think, Cameron told me $330 equivalent in Japan, which you can do. Companies do that all the time. If it's an American console being made in America, which when the fuck is that ever going to happen?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to be cheaper here because
So-
you can get it down the street than getting it shipped anywhere.
It's
right?
actually
It's just how things work. Yeah.
It's actually
it's just geography. But
it's
that's
a
really cheap.
It's a special region locked console of Switch 2 because
Oh, it is?
yes,
Huh.
so scalpers can't get it for cheap because
okay.
the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo
see.
Switch 2 are region unlocked, which means you could buy one in Japan and you could play it over here in English and everything will translate completely fine. It'll read any English game, any PAL game, any Hispanic game. It'll read all of them fine. But the region locked version will literally only let you play Japanese games in the Japanese language, so scalpers like America can't profit and can't abuse that privilege.
Nintendo basically has its own intelligence agency at this point, just to keep
The ninjas.
keep on
They're
top
so
of-
self-sufficient. It's
Yeah.
insane.
That is wild. And then, but they'll find a way.
Oh,
Someone
for
will
sure.
be on YouTube, and you'll see the YouTube video. It'll be up for 20 minutes.
I could see
and then
some-
they'll take it down, and it's someone like, "Here's how to jailbreak a region lock, whatever."
And
I
then
could
you
see
never
some
hear from
asshole
that person
literally
again.
saying, I just learned how to speak, or I just learned how to read Japanese. It was easier than spending that amount of money. I swear to God, though, I don't know how easy learning Japanese is, but I've had a very easy time picking up terms and phrases just from watching anime. And I've downloaded Duolingo for Spanish originally, and then I dabbled a little bit in Japanese. It's it kind of makes sense.
If you're immersed.
Immersion is very important for language learning.
Yeah,
but
so if you're watching the show all the time, you are immersing yourself. So
it also structurally seems easier than English because majority of
think
their
most
words and
languages do.
phrases are 2 to 3 letter syllables.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
it comes to pronunciation, if it's written in English, it's very, very easy to figure out how to say it, how to pronounce it. Whereas Japanese people or any other language trying to speak American, it's we have so many
American.
I speak American.
Speak American.
dialect. American dialect is you can have so many different sounds for one of our letters. You know what I mean?
So we do, the tone of our voice is different than the Eastern languages. So for them, the tone or the pitch or the variation in tone will change what the word means. Whereas with us, it'll change the emotional intent. So if I say something like this, it's very boring and soft, or or if I'm very enthusiastic, it's the same thing, but based on how you say it, changes the emotional feel of it. Whereas for them, the pitch will literally change what you're saying,
Right.
the words that you're saying. So it could be the difference between I stubbed my foot and I stubbed my plate or something. And
I think exactly back to that episode of iCarly when they go to Japan and he's he has a lamp that won't turn on
Poo.
unless it's with an attitude.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a perfect, way better way to describe what I just said. Yeah. My friend Ryan knows a little bit of Japanese,
Okay.
and he told me that in some ways it's simpler.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
when you're speaking American, I'll say I'll tell you, I'll go through a whole rigmarole of useless words just
Right.
to get finally to, I bought a pineapple at the store.
Right.
But I'll tell you all these extra, words, all these descriptive words. May I get the door for you? I get door. It's the
Yeah, I
difference
was
between
thinking
that. It's
I got
very
store pineapple
stripped down. Yeah.
instead of I went to the store and
I
bought
store
pineapple.
Yeah. It's
That's how
very,
ASL is too. I've taken college courses for sign language, and it's very much
simplified. It doesn't have to be
my name, and then you spell it. Not even my name is.
you don't, because we have. These.
Extra fluff words, basically.
I've noticed it in Spanish too, so it might really just be an English thing where there's just a
for
lot
sure.
of unnecessary it might be ear pleasing because it might be nicer to hear hey, I'm gonna go get the door than I get door,
Yeah, well, there's some creativity as languages evolve, I would imagine, cultural creativity, because everyone's trying to there are some people who are very artistic with their words. George Carlin was a very almost musical, rhythmic speaker.
Right.
So he used this problem I'm describing, the too many words, to his advantage. and he was very fun with his words and very bouncy, and he knew how to use them.
That's what they tell us about Dr. Seuss too.
There you go, Dr. Seuss. Yeah, green eggs and ham. So, sorry, that's like the only thing I've retained.
No, I'm so excited
the places you will go.
In Universal, they have a green eggs and ham like restaurant, and
Oh, sweet!
they sell specialty tater tots. So I'm so
Hoo-hash.
excited to go
shit.
there.
Get some hoo-hash.
Get some hoo-hash.
Smoking hoo-hash.
They give you a can of it. It says hoo hash. Oh my god, I can't wait.
I'm smoking that fresh ass hoo-hash.
I'm gonna keep my weed in that hoo-hash tin they give you.
Dude, if they gave me a lid, you bet.
Can I have a lid for this? I gotta store my nugs in it. You know what I mean?
I have to fly with this.
My hoo-nug.
I had a point, but I lost it. Fuck.
Having fun with words. We were talking about.
Yes. So my boss speaks French. So from learning English, he told me that English to him is very logical.
Interesting.
So I'm implying that French is a bit more romantic, maybe more flowy, but more creative, which I can understand because they have a lot of extra.
Their culture is
seemingly-
artsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wonder
Seemingly
if like
extra
you're,
letters in their words.
if you're looking at like a scale of complexity, like it might be like Japanese, like English, and then French might be even more complex than English simply because they are artsy. They are trying to impress people with the language itself. You know, like if you go and you try and learn a violin, you're gonna be playing like shit for a while before it actually sounds good. And I feel like speaking French is like the language equivalent of a violin, right? So like once you're talented and you know how to truly embrace that language, that's when you can speak it. But if you're just learning it, you're gonna butcher. It's gonna sound like disgusting.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that analogy. That's really good. Or
Thank
metaphor,
you.
rather. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, it is, and you are like actually true in a certain way too, because it is more of a classical language. It's an older language.
French.
The violin's a very old instrument. I don't know where the violin was invented.
I don't know, but it dates back to one of the oldest ages of music. I was learning when I had like a music theory in college. It's like, I think if it's not in the original era of music, it's like the next era after that is when a violin really became predominant.
I mean, it's wooden pegs, no frets, right? It's,
Right.
You're using gut as strings, or like I don't know what kind of gut.
Like stomach lining or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, from like whatever you had on the
Right.
farm, I guess. The bow is horsehair, wooden
For
horsehair.
sure.
And a screw. There's a screw inside the bow to tighten it or loosen it. So, and yeah, when you try to play the violin, I mean, you're absolutely like
You can't just pick it up and play it.
on the guitar. Even if you can't, even if like you could say, oh, I can't really play the guitar very well.
You can almost fumble your way through it, though.
You can play individual notes,
Yeah.
or really, it doesn't take much coaching to get someone to play a chord. So you can be rocking and rolling in a couple days on the guitar, whereas with the violin, it takes so long just to make a note.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it sound like not hurt your ears. Yeah.
And it's so loud, and it's right in front of you too. Like, oh
Well,
my God.
I was noticing this the last time I was just So when we were watching like YouTube videos about Dark Universe and Epic Universe, like there's a actor who like jumps up on stage, slaps up a violin in position to start playing, and I just
Slaps up?
just who the fuck came up with shoving a piece of
He
wood
was like, who
into
used
their
their neck for this?
and then clamping down with their chin?
And I was like, I never thought about it
play
like
an
that.
instrument. Whoever came up with that?
You do have to get used to it.
But like, you just thought like, okay, well, let me just use my neck.
Like not like you have like a cello where it's sitting in front of you,
The
and
cello makes sense.
It looks really pretty. Like you have a harp, which looks even prettier.
Some guy
and
was
you
like-
got right in the neck, dude, right in the neck.
How can I fuck up everybody? Let me make it smaller, harder to play.
Can't really see it. It's too close to you.
Yeah, that's another really great point. Is like, You're looking like this the entire time. Like you got a bombastic side eye your violin the entire time you're playing it.
But kudos if you could play violin because that shit looks hard.
And that just sounds great when you play it well.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I'll ever be that good at music.
No,
But
me neither.
There's nothing better than hearing those instruments be played live in person.
And there's
Especially like an orchestra setting.
yeah.
So, like, I know you've been in a band, and there's just something different that really hit for me when I actually wrote a piece of music and saw a few other human beings playing that music all in cohesion together, and it sounds like I don't want to say masterpiece, but I want to say like it sounds complete. Right? It doesn't sound like you started something and you didn't know where to end it, or it doesn't even sound like
Life is music. So when you play music with people, like when you look at molecules, you know, they're obviously changing on a microscopic level, but everything's vibrating. So when you
Right.
hear a song, the reason why music moves you so much is because it's I believe it is the best portrayal. I mean, all good creative art pieces are like a portrayal of life in a certain way. But music is, Frank Zappa called songs air sculptures because you can't see it, you can't hold it, right? But it's way more real than anything else.
but you can feel it.
Yeah, you feel. Yeah, I mean, you do literally feel it. And,
Well, also,
but when
I
you
was-
make music with people, it's like it is one of the most meaningful things that you can do because it's just such a pure. It's just such a pure part of our existence. That's why music sounds so good. That's why you can listen to the same album like 200 times,
Yeah.
literally 200, 300 times.
Take the hearing out of it too, though, because there are people who are actually deaf who play music and still go to concerts and enjoy music because they
They
can
can
feel the vibration and the difference in the vibration without the audio portion of it altogether.
Yeah.
That to me is incredible.
And you hear that your certain senses are heightened too. So, you know, you might have an exaggerated version of, you know, especially if you're going to see, like some light shows with bands are way too much.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So that's probably enough for, I don't know, going to the ball. You might not even need sound. Going to that Sphere in Vegas.
Yeah.
Call it the ball.
Immediately overstimulated.
Yeah. Imagine being high on mushrooms inside there. Holy shit.
Are you talking about the screen?
The big
I'm talking
sphere.
about-
Yeah, the
Sphere in
sphere
Vegas.
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
The things that they put on that are like hysterical.
Yeah.
Who came up with it? That's crazy.
It truly is a modern marvel.
Yeah,
It is.
I
that
think it's really
phrase.
cool.
Yeah,
You know-
and it's of our time too. It's like, you know, it's not a Great Pyramid of Giza. You know, we can't. Obviously, that technology was lost. Whoever humans aren't
Lost.
making pyramids anymore.
We murdered it.
Stolen. But anyway,
Killed
that's
all the aliens.
you know, Anunnaki. But this is our version of that. Like, this is what we get is the ball, the sphere. So
I also
like it.
I like those like drone shows.
Oh my
Now
god,
that
those
we-
are crazy.
Instead of, like,
We can-
fireworks,
yeah, and so we can kind of
Yeah.
like step away from fireworks a bit. I like
are
that.
insane.
Yeah, the things they did with them are incredible, and it's like, how can you program so many individual little flying drones to use one like a set of light bulbs on the side of them to cohesively create an image in the air without you like organizing it?
They're like cells in a body.
Yeah,
Hive mind.
Yeah.
a mitochondria of sorts.
Powerhouse of the cell. Thank you, public school.
The only thing really
It doesn't take very long to get to mitochondria. You talk long enough. What you got?
I got a great text from work saying that the inspection is there while I'm not.
Oh, nice. Pat told me one of the best last things to do if you work in a place that has a soda machine or anything that has like fructose corn syrup is if you get fired, slash the bags before you leave.
Yeah.
You'll never clean that up.
If you ever try
They'll
mopping
never
up
get that
high
off the
fructose
floor.
corn syrup, you basically just make soda with mop water.
I was thinking about it to myself yesterday, like last night, just laughing about the idea.
He's so devious.
Spill it or milk.
Yeah,
Spilling
dude.
milk
Whole
all over.
milk doesn't absorb by a mop head easily.
So one time he told me that he thinks about spilling milk in the freezer, like in the walk-in, because it just immediately freezes on the ground.
I don't know if I ever talked about a freezer, but that is devious
You
too.
said that you thought about doing
in the
it
cooler, in the cooler. Yeah, that's what I was telling Liam yesterday.
You got pissed off.
If you go and take a thermometer and you stab the bottom, but you don't stab the ones in the front, they won't notice until they go in the cooler.
It'll be too late by the time.
And a lot of the managers don't go in the cooler. So it's like, will they even know? They'll probably leave the store before they notice.
Okay, let's say you're the new guy on the job.
Okay.
You go in, you see that shit.
I walk out.
You're gonna exactly.
I'm walking
You're not
out.
I'm gonna go clean the bathroom.
They're gonna say, "Hi,
I don't know nothing.
yeah,
I don't know.
You found the milk. We're gonna need you to clean that up." I'm gonna say, "I'm so sorry. I'm feeling very ill. There's something about sniffing
lactose
dairy.
intolerant."
Yeah, I'm so lactose intolerant. If I sniff milk, I'll puke. I gotta go."
Gotta go. Mom, come pick me up.
I need an adult. Helps you get through the hard days.
Spilling milk on the floor.
Thinking about
Thinking
it.
about stuff like that.
How can I get back at these people with their own product? I work for a convenience store, just so you guys know.
What would the cows think?
That's what I thought when I spilled the milk in the first place. Because this all
are gonna be so mad.
was born from a mistake. I dropped a gallon of milk and it spread all over the floor.
As if we haven't, manipulated a natural process.
Sexually abused them enough.
Oh my god.
Have you ever watched a video on how to milk a cow? Like, the way you're supposed to handle these poor udders are just...
Are the udders a sexual organ, though?
I mean,
They're not tits.
Like,
I mean, they are, but they're not.
I don't think
not the same.
I don't think tits are sexual organs either.
you said
They are to some people.
you sexually abuse the cows.
Yeah, I don't think milking a cow is anything sexual.
I guess it's just physical
You
abuse.
have to light a
It's still-
candle, pour a glass of wine.
still
Hey, you're
abusive.
ready? Tonight we would do something special.
Oh, did you ever watch The Office? The episode where Dwight says if you don't milk them, they start mooing like crazy.
Well, they probably get big, like big udders, big
Probably
tits.
hurts.
Yeah. You
You gotta treat them with
empty that shit
respect,
out.
though, not just hook them up to a machine and just as often as you can. You know that's what the milk companies do, just for somebody
How did we get
just
here?
for somebody to pour it out when it's a day past its sell-by date. Mind you, I've dumped.
I'm an
tens-
almond milk girly,
I've
but
dumped so many gallons of milk. Those poor almonds, they go down the drain sometimes too. Food service is a scary industry, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody in between.
poor cows.
Yeah, I mean, I dropped 1 gallon of milk on the ground, and then I started really thinking about that. I'm like, this cow went through all of that for what? For me to mop it up and pour it down a drain.
A friend of mine used to work at one of the casinos down Atlantic City back in the day,
Okay.
and she's working in the kitchen. She said she saw some wild shit. She saw some guy drop a piece of chicken breast on the floor.
No.
Right back up.
No.
This is back in the day. She's a little bit older than me, so this is back, way back when.
Have I ever told you I had a passion for food safety?
It's true.
It's times like these that
Hey, You kept it together at Taco Bell for years.
Yeah, I did.
You know,
And
you were
then
running that place.
I left like 2 years later. They tore that building down. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
I thought
down.
really long and hard about when they told me they were tearing it down, and I was like, is
Couldn't get
that
the
not
chicken right
ironic?
anymore. They had to get rid of the KFC.
So I worked at this place called 1,000 Degrees Pizza. Not for 2 years. It was only
I
like
In the
remember.
mall,
2 or 3
or
months. And, yeah, it was in the mall.
I remember
The
that.
new store. And it was the same situation. I left there, and then the next time I went to the mall, it was a shoe store.
Damn, that changed quick.
That's so scary.
What did they do with the pizza ovens? Like, did they just start putting shoes in them?
Gone.
Just why would they keep the ovens in there?
I just imagine putting like shoes as like display shoes on top of the pizza oven.
So it was the first time I saw, and I guess this is like a sneakerhead thing, where the shoe is wrapped in plastic.
Yeah, I don't understand that either.
Yeah, but it's for your foot, so you can walk around.
Right, like
But if you're gonna preserve it,
it's a
just-
shoe. I don't understand.
I never understood why
I got my
people
shoes on
glorified
sale for
shoes in the first
$11.
place.
Very nice. Give me something comfortable. Give me something versatile.
Yeah,
That's literally all I need.
yeah.
Yeah.
Keep my Tootsie safe. How about that?
Water resistance nice too, but it's usually not too great in the summer.
Well, boots. I mean, just wear boots.
I don't want to wear boots in the summer.
Yeah.
This
I mean, but
coming
it's-
from a sandal head.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sandalhead too. Trust me.
No,
But
I was referring to you.
Yeah, I mean,
I know you're a sandal head.
it's hot, but it's worth it. Depending on the work you're doing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get away, like if I can get away, like Crocs have become a new work shoe for me. Just from working at a winery, sometimes Crocs are appropriate.
Crocking it up in the fields.
Yeah, we're doing cellar work too. You don't always need boots, but
Do you ever listen to The Who while you're out there?
I'm not a big Who fan.
No?
Neither the health organization or the band.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the health organization's work.
World Health Organization.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with their work.
Even if you're not familiar, you've definitely been on the receiving end of it. In some
Oh,
way.
I think most people have.
Yeah, I don't know the Who. I know they have that album cover with the baked beans.
I don't think I knew that.
Where they're in a bathtub filled with baked beans.
I'd be really disappointed if I was quoting the wrong band because I'm pretty sure that's like the band that goes out here in the fields. You know what I'm talking about? I fight for my meals.
So when
Teenage
I'm
Wasteland.
Yeah. you ever listen to that?
when I'm out in the fields, my out in the fields music is Creedence Clearwater.
Okay.
Yeah,
I could see that too.
yeah.
I don't know much by them, but what I do know I like.
Mostly just Proud Mary on repeat. Just listening to Proud Mary 12 times.
Do you actually listen to songs on repeat?
Not
Very
12 times
curious.
in a row.
All right.
No, I'm kidding.
Thanks for your honesty.
No, I don't.
I try really, 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 really hard not to listen to songs on repeat. I'm like, I have a limited time on earth.
Sometimes I hyperfixate on a song and I'll get through it and then start it over immediately.
So
Brand new
I will
songs
do
are kind
that.
of an exception. If it's brand new, I get it.
I do that with albums. So I'll find.
Yes, I do that with albums too.
So lately, I kind of went through a thing. I don't know. You go through phases with music, right? So lately, I'll be fixated on like 5 or 6 albums that I'll kind of rotate, and they'll all be kind of different from each other. So like based on my mood. So and then I'll kind of just listen to those on repeat. Right, so it may not be the same song, but it's the same album. You know, I might listen to it, a couple times the same week, just because I'm really into it. But then I'll reach a point where, I
You
need
just
to
don't listen to it like that. Yeah,
I need to let this rest because I've been doing it too much.
Yeah,
we call it over
So,
listening. Yeah.
But it's still music, so you let some time go by and then you listen to it again.
So you know what I've been doing on Spotify? I started last year. I follow, for those of you that don't know how Spotify works, I follow the artists that I listen to very often. And so anytime they post anything new, it comes up in a what's new section on Spotify.
You get notifications too.
Right.
And they show up in your library. I started doing that to make it easier to use the Spotify app.
Yeah.
'Cause I found it frustrating to use, but if I followed all my bands,
Yeah.
you
It's
could just go
almost
to
like a
Like an
news
iPod.
feed. Yeah.
where I
And
could
so-
just go to the band, like I just want to hit it right away.
I've gotten to the point where I've made a playlist for everything that releases in the year. I started last year, and I'm actually kicking myself that I didn't start sooner, because it's really cool to see all the different albums, all the different singles. So I kind of made like a rule: if singles come out this year but the album drops next year, then I'll put the singles in this year's playlist, but I'll put the album in next year's playlist, because a lot of the times the single covers are different than the album covers, so I like that. And then at the end of the year, Spotify drops your Wrapped and your top 100, so I get to see a lot of the times now I'm trying to focus on listening to music that has come out this year. So by the end of the year, that music will be in my top 100. I'll get to see what music that came out this year was actually my favorite stuff to listen to. And then it's kind of like a little capsule that I get to look back on when I use Spotify.
Those year wrap-ups are pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah. I love seeing who I've listened to, how much I've listened to them, for how long.
You're the top 0.5% listener of, whoever.
I like that they
It's a compliment.
they do something about like the world too. So like if you listen to music from different
Countries, yeah.
they like tally that up. Like the stats part of it is really interesting.
I try and save mine every year, so I have that to look back on as well. Top 5 bands you've listened to.
Yeah, I switched to YouTube Music. I used Spotify for the longest time, and then I realized I was paying for Spotify and YouTube Music at the same time.
My jaw
And I didn't
dropped
realize
yesterday
it
when you
for
told me that.
years. I was like, I've been paying for YouTube Premium for years, and I've had a music app, so I was like, why am I paying for 2? So I switched. So I will not be having a Spotify Wrapped this upcoming year.
I kind of get it for somebody who watches YouTube a lot.
Every day, yeah.
My
If
dad's
I'm
a
on
big
there every
YouTube
day.
Premium guy.
Yeah. It's worth it to like lock your phone screen if you're listening to, especially if a podcast is like YouTube only.
Yeah.
Just being able to lock your phone screen and take it in the car or put it in your pocket. It's nice. For me anyway. It's worth it.
Yeah, it has not, like, YouTube Premium as a whole has not spoke to me. It hasn't really like given me a reason to want to grab it.
I hate advertisements.
I hate them too. I really like that majority of the ones are wait 5 seconds and then you can skip them. Majority. I think there are some that don't. But 9 times out of 10, I'm not watching YouTube. I don't watch too much YouTube. I find most of my media through other social medias. Instagram, TikTok. I really only started TikTok because of the nonsense with Instagram, whereas the algorithm is kind of...
If you're not half naked, they don't give a shit. That's Instagram for
the
you.
algorithm favors like not stuff that I'm trying to post. You know what I mean? I'm trying to just post things about video games, solely about video games, or like relating to them. And
how about just information in general is not being it's not the
right.
priority
Anything
Right.
that should actually be a priority.
Basically, the less information you put out, the better.
The stupider it makes you, the better.
So the more
long as
mind-numbing, plastic, just
Capitalism.
the worse it is. I mean, I don't even use Instagram anymore. I don't use.
Yeah, you
I
were
don't use
telling
them
me you got off
any
that.
of them anymore. Yeah, I've gone back and forth with them. Like I've quit. It's like a cigarette addiction. Like I've quit and then gone back, then quit.
No, straight up, it's like our society's addicted to it. It's a problem.
so what I've noticed...
I just it's I mean, I definitely use YouTube more now that I'm not on those other things.
Right.
But that's how it works.
But
So-
at least you can watch
So
I have
stuff
2
that gives you
accounts.
information.
yeah, exactly.
I have 2 accounts on Twitter, Instagram, and kind of TikTok. I made a second account on TikTok because I was going to try and start doing like some food videos and like other stuff so I don't mess up my gaming algorithm for TikTok, because
Yeah, it goes by channel.
and if you're
Goes by
familiar
account.
with their algorithm, you could watch like abusive police videos for 5 minutes and then your entire
You could watch
algorithm
one
is
and you're
abusive
screwed.
police videos. So I keep two different channels, but what I've noticed, or profiles, is what I've noticed is that like my Sizzle Lip Squid accounts, I don't follow necessarily like as many friends or just like personal people. It's more so like video game accounts like Nintendo specifically or Bethesda, so I can get those updates of when games are coming out and stuff. And I don't see as much nonsense as I do on my Sizzle Lip Squid account as much as I do on my personal. If I'm following my personal, I almost feel as though the algorithm considers what who you follow and who they follow. So if I'm following you and you followed a bunch of like inappropriate accounts, then like because you're following inappropriate accounts, they're pushing shit my way.
Yeah, like Trailer Park Boys, they're coming
Liam's
up on
hoeing around.
I heard a little dirt yesterday about Liam's promiscuous affairs.
I am not promiscuous. There's no dirt. Okay?
The city
There's
of
no tea.
The city of Philadelphia feels otherwise.
I open up a little bit. Just a little bit, and this is what I get in return. I need a judge in here now. Your Honor? This is unfair.
You need to provide the proof, man. Where's the proof?
There's none.
Just like I have none on my end. It's all he said, she said.
Yeah, I would have been tapped out after yesterday's conversation. We sat at the diner for like 3 hours.
Yeah, we did.
We haven't seen each other in a while, so we had a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, and it's
So-
nice because that was non-podcast talk, and now we can get into all the podcast talk.
Yeah, no one wants to hear about our problems.
Correct.
Everybody has enough of their own.
Yeah.
So, you know
That
what?
shit, keep that shit to yourself, please.
Speaking of, let's circle back around to the Switch. Something that I don't Switch 2, I should say. Something that I don't. Let me start over. A concept that they've announced for the Switch 2 that I'm not particularly fond of is called a game key card. Now, Liam, look this up for me, and I think I want you to read the definition of it when you look that up. I would just say Nintendo Switch 2 game key card. From what I understand, it sounds like you're going to need a physical piece of hardware inside of your console that requires the internet to download the entire full game onto your console.
Correct.
Right? So Nintendo hasn't confirmed whether or not this is going to be every single game or if they're going to be selling specific games. Now,
What is this for? What? This is pointless. You could just download the game.
Right.
You don't need an extra card,
Yes.
an extra slot.
Right.
This is-
So.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is.
No,
Exactly.
I'm looking at it right now.
That's why I'm telling you
Yes.
it's very frustrating.
Is this a joke? Am I on the onion.com? I didn't realize it.
You just created a middleman to make it harder for the consumer.
Correct.
Thunder Mifflin of fucking
Now,
Nintendo.
let's take a step back and look at the Switch 2, or the original Switch. They have games for sale like Fortnite and like Tetris that you can buy a physical plastic case, and when you unwrap that plastic case's cellophane, you open it up and it has a download code slip of paper inside of its physical game case. If this is replacing that, I think it'll be fantastic. So with this thought process that I have, it's physical games will still have their original game cards, while these games that are internet based, like Fortnite and like Tetris 99,
RuneScape.
which for some reason is now ported to the Nintendo Switch 2 officially, thanks creator of old school RuneScape.
Are you serious? I was joking.
No,
That was a
I'm
joke.
acting like you're the creator of old school RuneScape, and you've just confirmed that it got added to the Nintendo Switch.
That one flew over my head, folks. I apologize.
So, if this is replacing a full, like a game download key that comes in the box, I will respect this decision.
I still don't get it because everything's gonna be linked to your Nintendo account, and it's gonna be one email address, one phone number, it's just one person. So
I think they wouldn't have said internet. I think they would have said the eShop. And the difference here is if you don't need the eShop to download this game onto your console, when the eShop is dead and gone, like the Wii U's, you will still be able to put this game in your console. It'll still download from the internet. So we don't know, as far as I know, which I'm trying to be very, very educated on this concept. We don't have proof that that's what Nintendo's doing. They also haven't confirmed or denied whether or not every single Nintendo Switch game card will be a Game Key card.
I see.
So we have to learn more about that. But with that conversation in mind, where are we going? Are we stepping backwards, like you guys said? Is it a middleman? Is this not a good feature to add to Nintendo Switch 2? There are games like Pokemon Legends.
Just make a shop you don't close. Just have the Nintendo shop and don't close it. So don't make it for one console. Just have it. So I can run Steam on a computer from 2001, and I can run Steam on a brand new computer.
Now that's a brilliant
you can get
idea.
It on anything you want, and Steam will have its own OS soon.
But how will they keep making money off of people, Liam?
How will they send a Nintendo? How will they sell the Nintendo Switch 2 version of games that are an extra $10 or $20 per upgrade pack? How will they make money and stay in business in this capitalistic society that we've created, Liam?
I didn't create it. Don't put me in that we.
No, you're totally
that we
right.
are a part of.
That's how it should be. That is really how it should be.
Yeah, I actually think
just make one store. Okay, so if they had one store, obviously hindsight's 2020, but if they had a Nintendo store, let's say when the Wii came out, then everything, you could just be building upon the same concept where the 3DS store goes to a 3DS version of the Nintendo store, but it's all the same server room. It's all the same place.
Granted, this is called the Nintendo Switch 2, right?
Which is what Microsoft did, by the way. They kept the same store for all their consoles. By the way.
Yeah, I
don't like Microsoft, but they did a good job with the Xbox.
No, I respect Microsoft for their UI, not for their software or
hardware.
And that's not true. Their hardware is not bad. Their hardware is actually adaptive, and they create a lot of
their accessibility hardware is amazing. What they do for disabled communities and stuff is amazing.
That I could get into about Xbox would literally take us an entire other day. I could talk about that a lot. But yeah, I respect Xbox for keeping that the same. You can also use an Xbox One controller on an Xbox Series X. It does not matter. It still will work. It just does not have that share button. That's literally the only real difference.
Who cares? Yeah.
Exactly. I'm still using my Fallout 4 controller that I bought in 2014 before Fallout 4 came out on my Xbox Series S, to the point where the rubber on the bottom is now literally coming off of the controller.
Yeah, it's like an old steering wheel.
But Nintendo is sort of moving towards that. This is kind of related, kind of not. It's not the eShop, but the My Nintendo account. All games are remembered by the Nintendo account.
One email address, one phone number.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just me. It's my everything's linked. Everything's interconnected. So, I mean, that for going forward, because they're not stopping at the Switch 2. There's going to be a Switch 3, 4, 5, whatever. They're going to keep going up. So, yeah, it makes sense to build, when you build a highway, you don't build 4 lanes, you build 16. Because, that's what you do.
That's the point of the highway.
Because
you're going to keep adding on new...
Of course, yeah, unless you're severely limited. But I don't think Nintendo's limited.
No,
I'd say the
genuinely
opposite.
think they are in success mode right now.
Pioneers.
Although after the tariff announcement, I'm not sure if you heard, we were supposed to be able to pre-order yesterday for the Switch 2.
Oh, but then that changed because of the tariff.
Thank you.
Changing.
Thanks to Donald Trump's Trump tariffs, we are now delayed Nintendo they announced that actually, interestingly enough, Canada is delayed too. They announced a few days later, but the pre-orders for the Nintendo Switch 2 are delayed, but the release date stays the same.
Oh, that's fine, then. That's okay.
No, it's not. That means there's less time in between their way of finding out how many Switch consoles are being ordered to the date that the Nintendo Switch consoles are expected. Now, they say that they have a stock built up of the Nintendo Switch 2 because the original Nintendo Switch did not have a stock when it first released.
Well, yeah, and that's what you should do. Like, good business practices, you're going to look at, well, how many units did I sell last time? And
just prepare for the future.
Let me have at least that much.
And then you look at the Wii U and how the Wii succeeded.
Right.
And they overproduced the Wii U, and it failed. And so, because of that, they started taking their time, and they were like, well, let's not overproduce the Switch. We don't necessarily know if the Switch is going to do well.
Bam,
and now,
COVID.
Oh, yeah. And now we're looking at the Nintendo Switch 2, and they're fairly confident that everybody is going to start buying up, which actually a headline today I read. They are still going to be making updates for the Nintendo Switch for the original. They are still planning on like putting out patches and stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. But then again, they said that for the 3DS and canceled that like 9 months later. So we'll see. You never really know with them because they can do whatever they want.
Say that they've got. I hate to call it a captive audience, but at least for some percentage, it's they're gonna.
It doesn't matter.
They set the rules, and you know.
And I blindly follow them.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Not quite as bad as the Pokemon franchise, though.
It's a story for another day. It's a story for another day.
My favorite Pokemon game had to have been Black or Black 2.
That's actually a very consistent.
I was kidding. I hated that game.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I actually shit you not. That's actually a very popular opinion amongst the Pokemon community.
That those are really good games.
That Black 2 and White 2 are some of the best games in the entire series.
Really?
Yeah. So,
no, I was just trying to make a joke because that's out of all the Pokemon games I played that one the least amount.
Black and White.
I picked it up for literally a few minutes. I was like, I don't like this.
Black and White were trying to be pioneers in the series. They were trying to start fresh because the series creator.
I played the first one and it was very different than I was coming off a Diamond. So
yeah,
it's very different than that.
And that's the thing. Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, the Nintendo creator, Junichi, I can't remember his last name. Masuda? Junichi Masuda? Yeah. Junichi Masuda confirmed that they were planning that as the end game. Like,
okay,
Platinum was going to be the last of it.
Because that series is
fantastic.
It feels like an optimized version of
everything.
Legacy Pokemon. And then when you play the Black games, it feels like a completely new thing.
Well, they also managed to hit home with everybody because they followed up Platinum when they realized, well, we're making way too much money off of this series. We have to continue. Mm-hmm. They made Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which are the most expensive games in the entire series catalog.
So
mind you.
When I bought Soul Silver for $60, that was a low price.
That's a steal.
That's a low price years ago.
I bought Heart Gold for $80. And that was a steal because it was loose.
I don't even know how much
find
it is now.
in box for like over hundreds of dollars. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. I had it. I had the cardboard, the Pokewalker.
Pokemon people are crazy.
Oh, they're nuts. They're nuts. And I'm
$189.
$189? Is that loose or in box?
$299. Looks like $299 in box.
Oh, jeez. I have a Soul Silver.
$250 just a cartridge.
In box complete. Soul Silver complete.
I have it complete as well.
Oh no, I can't say complete. I would have to say with the big box because I forgot it came with the freaking cardboard.
Oh, I'm sorry. No big box for me.
Yeah, I don't have big box.
Fuck that, dude. It's cardboard.
The cardboard makes it so expensive. So expensive.
Physical art.
Just like the N64 collection is so expensive to collect because the cardboard gets thrown away and it's gone. The plastic boxes are so much easier to hold on to than the cardboard was.
Sorry, I enjoyed the thing I bought.
Same.
Jesus.
How dare you? Why didn't you keep it sealed in plastic to just sit there and stare at the wall and watch somebody else enjoy?
Because I'm not a sneakerhead.
That's a really, really good analogy. Because sneaker people are crazy to me. Like, you wear them on your feet, they're going to get dirty. There's nothing you can do about
Not my
that.
shoes, bro. I keep them clean. I got a rag.
I take them home after an hour walking on the street, and I sponge bath them for about like 15, 20 minutes every single night.
Shoes are cleaner than me.
People that get mad about their shoes getting dirty, I'm like, we can't be friends. Like, what is the point?
That if you were to sum up what is wrong with America or American culture, it's that.
Yeah.
It's probably that problem. So,
Granted, now I'm going to like shoot myself in the foot here and be like devil's advocate.
wow, don't get any splatter on your shoe.
Well, I have a pair of Super Mario Bros. Villains Vans that they put out when they collabed, and it's an all-white pair of classic Vans with black outline boos, bob-ombs, Goombas, Koopa Troopas. Bloopers, yeah. And I wore them once, and I got a little speck of dirt on them, and I put them back in the box, and I never wore them again.
Well, I mean, you already got some dirt on them, so, you know, you got to wear them every day now.
I did that with my Legend of Zelda crossover Vans, and now they're completely destroyed and very dirty, and it just makes me sad.
You got to flex those kicks.
I think I'm going to start wearing that kind of stuff, like if I go to like a game convention.
Yeah,
or,
time and place. Yeah.
You know what I
gotta wear
mean?
that to
Like,
the right thing.
I'm not going to wear it to the park. Why am I going to wear them to a picnic? I'm definitely going to get them dirty. I'm going to get grass stains on them. Come on, guys. We got to be smart. We're adults.
We go on a lot of picnics. We have a lot of expendable time for picnics.
I have a whole extra day off now, so.
You do. It's about to be pool season.